Oxfordshire Sports Online.
Well, back down here at the Didcot Engineer Luke Meadows Stadium, we're sat in what has got to be said a rather miserly type of night, but it's quite warm, and I'm joined again by one of the men off the board down here. It is Steve Clare. How are you, Steve?
Pretty good. Really looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I've covered Didcot a few times now, and I've covered North Leigh as well a few times, and I know that both sides like to play football. As a Didcot board member, you must be very pleased with the way this season started.
Chuffed a bit. Had a difficult start, I think we'd say, for the first few weeks, but over the last 5 or 6 weeks, more than we could have expected. Any Didcot supporter's going to be delighted with that.
Well, because you've had a couple of doldrum years, haven't you? And when I say doldrum, really doldrum years. But unbeaten in 8. We come up with the Red Insure Cup. First time I've come across the Red Insure Cup. And I've got to ask you, where does this sit for Didcot Town, first off?
Well, for Didcot, realistically, it's the only competition left they can win. I wouldn't expect them, I may be harsh, actually, because they're sat third in the table. I wouldn't expect them to win the league this year. I think that's a step too far. They're not in the FA Cup, obviously, and they weren't going to win it, and they're still in the FA Trophy, and they play this Saturday. But again, it's not a competition Didcot can win. So actually, now they're out the Berks and Bucks Trophy. They lost to Maidenhead week before last. Now they're out of that competition. This is really the only cup left to win, and for that reason, this is a big game for Didcot.
It is a big game. Big game as well for North Leigh. North Leigh have been slightly... I say consistently inconsistent this season. They seem to play really well, but they're not actually coming away with the spoils in their games. In fact, the last time I saw them, they beat Totton at the A-Plan Ensham Park Arena. They were 2-0 up and coasting. Then they gave away a penalty, then they had a man sent off, and then they were clinging on for dear life against a side really in Totton that weren't that good on the evening. So they'll be out here tonight. They'll be looking at, I suppose, they want to get something out of tonight's game and actually maybe set a marker down for the rest of the season. That's
right. I mean, this is the first time these two clubs will have played this season. They've got another 2 league games to go, so it's everything to play for tonight, and I think there's certainly going to be both teams and both managers will want to not lose this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing we say about North Leigh is they play the ball around. They tend to play with a 3-5-2. Very attacking. One person to look out for tonight. 2 people that have jumped off the park for me every time I've seen them have been Kieran Sanders, who scored an awesome goal and certainly is pulling the strings very well at the top of the park. Aaron Woodley, a player that had a 2-year contract with Oxfordshire United and played very, very well, is very useful as well. And I do like the right-sided wing-back, else he does get up and down the line quite a bit. But they do afford and play football in areas that aren't too dangerous. We see that with Oxfordshire United. Whereas we look at, you can have a little trot through the Didcot side. There are some people that have come to the table, haven't they?
They have, and they're playing really well at the minute. I think confidence is such a big part to play, doesn't it? At all levels of football, but this level in particular. Didcot probably 5 or 6 weeks ago, you just said North Leigh were consistently inconsistent. That was actually a phrase we've used about Didcot this year already. And it's right. As soon as you get a winning run going, actually players start believing in themselves. They take a bit more time on the ball. They've got more confidence that their pass is going to find someone in their own colours. And it's made a massive difference. I think players that probably 5 or 6 weeks ago were looking under par and with no confidence at the moment, you give them the ball, they actually want the ball. And I think that's part of actually, it really sets you up for winning a game. If 9 or 10 of your outfield players want the ball, you've got a chance.
Absolutely. When we look down at the sides, we'll run through the sides very briefly for you. We'll start with the visitors, the Merry Millers, the Millers of North Leigh. Bullman in goal, a back 3 of Hull, Edel and Westlake. I haven't seen Edel and Westlake play, I have to say. It's normally been Caton and Gunn at the back there as well. We'll talk about Caton in just a moment. But Stuart Holt, a big player for them, the captain at the back, be wearing number 4 today. Right-sided wing-back will be Else. Left-sided will be Matty Woodley, which is the brother of Aaron Woodley. Not Hopkins. He's not playing tonight. A few players coming back for injury for North Leigh and are playing in the Floodlit Cup back at their place this evening. Osborne, Ricketts and McNish will hold. Aaron Woodley will be given a little bit of a free rein, and he's a very tricky customer, bags of pace and does carry the ball well. Sanders at the top of the park, who I've already mentioned, but this is the one for you. Andy Caton, centre half. Started his life down the A420 land as a forward, has gone into reserves, played a few games, backed a few goals, lost a bit of weight apparently according to his manager, and they're sticking him at the top of the park. How different will this be for Connors and Jamie Heapy to look at and think, well, we've got a centre half and centre forward?
It'll be unknown territory for them. I mean, I've never seen Andy Caton play up front, so that's going to be a first for me too. They're a very good side, North Leigh, even though they do have a couple of injury issues. I know one of Morgan Williams isn't playing, or he's on the bench tonight, which I'm sure you're going to run through the whole teams in a minute. That's an interesting one for us. He's ex-Didcot. The other name that you haven't mentioned who has got a lot of supporters here is Elliot Osborne-Ricketts, who was sent off, I believe, against Tottenham, and probably wasn't his greatest moment. And he does have this issue with silly yellow cards, but what a player he is.
Well, I can tell you exactly how that red card came. He was in the middle of the park against Tottenham, twisted away right in the centre circle, twisted away and run into 4 Tottenham players, looked for help, didn't find any help to lay the ball off, kept on twisting and turning, retained possession well. In the end, the ball was robbed off him, and he was so frustrated, just kicked the bloke that took the ball off him. I think he'll be the first to admit, as his foot was going through the player's legs, what have I done? But that really was a nice player, as you say. Got a lot of fans down here. He is a player that him and McNish and Woodley, that trio in the middle, are going to be very, very good. But let's have a look at the Didcot side. Foster in goal. Organ, Leroy, Carnell and Alkins coming back after a silly red card. A midfield of Whitehead, Baines, Self and Dutton Black. And Mills and Haysham at the top of the park. Now, let's be honest with you. When I first saw the lineup in the pre-season, I saw Ryan Brooks and John Mills. I didn't think John was actually going to come to the party this year. Little did I know that some 8 games later and 47 goals later, he really is, if he sees the whites of the post, he's dangerous.
He knows where the goal is, certainly this season. We could have accused him perhaps last season of overdoing it in front of the goal. He sometimes takes an extra touch, which is infuriating, but he does know where the goal is. He always has done. And this year, I think he's 19 goals. He's by far and away not just the league's top scorer, but the Southern League, all 3 divisions. By far and away top scorer. And at the moment, every time he plays, he looks like he's going to score.
Now, midfield-wise, we'll look at the bench. Ryan Brooks is there for Didcot. Matt Clark's there. Jack Longford and Jamie Heapy for North Leigh. Williams, Turk, Bowles and Bird. Bird's got a good pedigree. He's been playing up in Scotland and played quite a high level, but he finds himself down here on the bench. Just how tight do you think this 90 minutes is going to be?
It's going to be tight in terms of, I don't think it's going to be much between the sides, but one thing about this fixture historically is we do see lots of goals. It's now going to be a goalless draw, I appreciate that. But we have seen some silly results down here, 4-4, a couple of 3-3. So over the years, this has been not only one of the fiercest fought Oxford derbies that Didcot are ever involved with, there's normally goals.
There's normally goals as well. The 2 sides will be officiated by Mr. Howick. Evans and Moore will be the referees' assistants. It's going to be an interesting time. Just to let you know, you listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online, and you can listen to us at all the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk. Plus, you can also go to the oxsports.tv radio player. You can follow us at Oxford_sports as well on the Twitter. We are next out once we've done and dusted this evening, whether it be, I'm not sure if it's penalties, extra time, or all the rest of it in this cup. And we're not sure either, but hopefully we won't need that because we'll have to find out as we go along. But we're next out on Sunday evening when it is Oxford City Stars versus the MK Thunder. Live, we'll be on air from 6 p.m. for a 6:15 face-off. The Stars have certainly left everything they had on the ice down at the Whitelink Raiders on Saturday evening, and they'll be looking to try and turn over their local derby rivals in the MK Thunder. And then on Monday, a departure. The wrong type of thing. A puck is round, albeit flat. A football's round, albeit really round. But on Monday night, will we be doing the Dark Blues versus the Wasps down at Iffley Road? That will be nice. Get your ears around that. A little bit of oval ball football for you. But in the meantime, the 2 sides will be coming out very shortly. As I've got to say, the North Leigh man goes out looking like he's about to do a paper round.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
It does, actually. He's gone out there with a typical paper bag, but I'm sure that's the substitute numbers in there that he needs later on. What do you reckon?
Well, it must be. There can't be any physio stuff in there, so it must be the numbers.
Yeah, it's definitely not the Banbury Gardening going out there, that's for sure. So, neck out time. Who has the favourite? Who is the more favoured of the 2 sides head-to-head, do you reckon?
On current form, probably Didcot. Historically, probably North Leigh. I think that evens it up. I don't really want to put a Didcot head on tonight, so I'm going to say it's going to go to extra time, and we'll see if there's a winner in extra time.
Excellent stuff there. Thanks a lot for a long night down at the Draycott Engineer and Loop Meadow Stadium. But one of the things we can tell you, every time Oxfordshire Sports Online have followed Didcot, there have been goals, entertainment and excellent football. Every time we've followed the Millers of North Leigh, it has been exactly the same. The 2 sides are out. They're in front of the main stand down here at Didcot. Now, I was told last time I was here, the goal away to my left is down at Teletubby Hill. And away to my right, it is where, Steve?
Sainsbury's.
It's Sainsbury's, that's it. Opposite on the far side is the dugout side, and we're in the main stand. The 2 two sides are out in the red shirts with white sleeves, white shorts and red socks. It is Didcot, the railway man, Foster in goal, Organ, Leroy, Carnell and Elkins are back four, a midfield four of Whitehead, Baines, Self and Dutton Black. Mills and Haysham are the forward pairing. Against them in the yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks, it is North Leigh. Bullman in goal, a back three of Hull, Edel and Westlake. A midfield five of Else, McNish, Woodley, Osborne Ricketts and Matty Woodley. That's Aaron and Matty Woodley in the midfield. Up top, Caton and Sanders. On the bench for North Leigh, Williams, Turk, Bowles and Bird. And for Didcot, Brooks, Clark, Longford and Heapy. Pitch isn't brilliant. It took a bit of a beating in the summer. It's just starting to get the grass and the colour back into it, but it is a bit patchy out there, isn't it? It
is a bit. I mean, it looks. I think the rain, the loads of rain that we've had in the last 48 hours has greened it up a bit tonight. But actually, when you're on the pitch, it is a bit patchy. The pitch isn't quite as good at the Luke Meadows as it has been in previous years, but it's no excuses tonight. It's still good enough to play on, I think.
There we are. It is time. Just Jack Self, did they say? Little youngster in the middle of the park. He's doing okay, actually, it seems. It seems like... Did you see the game on Saturday?
I only saw a bit of it. Obviously, I read the report in the non-league paper and he got man of the match. But that doesn't surprise me. Every time I've seen Jack Self this year, he's got on with his business and he just doesn't give the ball away, which is a really big plus.
It is indeed. Still do wonder about the merits of Mr. Foster wearing white on a night like tonight. He better be washing it in biodegradable soap powder at 40 degrees, because that is a very white kit. We're all set for the Red Insure Cup down here at the Didcot Engineer and Luke Meadows Stadium. It is going to be North Leigh in their yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks, kicking towards the Teletubby Hill, away to my left-hand side, and away to the Sainsbury's end it will be Didcot Town. At the moment, Didcot have the upper hand in Southern League Division 1 South and West, but that can all turn. Hopefully for Didcot not, and hopefully for North Leigh it will. So there we are. That's sitting right with my non-biased head on, which is going to be difficult tonight, as I will wince at every tackle and pass that goes on. Referee Howick is about to start proceedings. It's North Leigh's kick-off. We're underway here. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online, bringing you Red Insure Cup football. And a breakthrough straight away by Osborne Ricketts, but gets fouled in the middle of the park by Baines. He tries to take it quickly, and the referee says no, the rolling ball. But that was a good break there straight away. Tried to drive straight through the heart of Didcot's midfield.
Yeah, he went about 30 yards, eventually tackled, but it was a foul.
Aaron Woodley stands there. Stuart Holt gallops forward to place the ball down. I should say it's a good 40 yards from the goal of Foster. But on a greasy night like tonight, you're going to try the keeper's handling straight away, one feels. Anyway, Stuart Holt comes back pedals 4 or 5 yards back. Dead centre as Foster, the Didcot keeper, looks out of his goal. Drills it right through. Foster goes down, gathers it with the end of his fingers down by his right knee, and now bowls it out to the left back, Organ. Organ will take a touch. Baines will go to meet him. Sanders tries to cut him down, and it's Didcot that try and play the ball on the edge of their own 18. Adam Leroy comes forward, lifts it long. The target being at the top of the park, Pablo Haysham, but it's easily picked up there by Hull. Midway inside his own half for North Leigh, lifts it up, tries to play it into the feet of Sanders. Good ball, spins away from Leroy. Leroy sticks to his guns. He plays it out. A chance now. Caton inside the box, puts it low. Good clearance out by Foster by his foot, and on rushing in was McNish. And a great save just inside their own 18-yard box. Didcot under pressure straight away. It's a fast start here by North Leigh. Osborne Ricketts places it near side. Matty Woodley now to lift the ball in the box. Good clearance there by Captain Carnell, and that'll be a throw to North Leigh, 4 or 5 yards away from the corner flag defended by the right back here, Sam Elkins. But that was a big effort early on in the game. And I've got to say, that was a very good save by Foster, and then a very good bit of defensive work as well. What did you think, Steve?
It was an excellent stop because it was low and he used his feet well, but got lucky actually with the rebound. He didn't quite fall to McNish, who actually would have had an own goal if it had fallen to his feet.
Indeed. North Leigh trying to get some yards down here. The two Woodley boys exchanging passes for North Leigh. Put out there by Dutton Black, thrown into the middle of the park now. Osborne Ricketts, faced by Whitehead. Little layoff here to Woodley. Woodley round the corner to Sanders. Sanders gets the ball down, plays it back some 10 yards to Osborne Ricketts. Matty Woodley now, hugging the touchline, lifts it in towards the penalty spot. Brought down by Carnell, and McNish was coming in behind, and it slipped off his boot. And it's an easy take for Foster, but again, that greasy service and the greasy football causing a few problems, Steve. What we got there, you're waving at your fans, Steve. Watch the football. I handed that over to you then.
I've got to be careful. He poured a drink over me on Saturday night, so...
Oh, fair enough. You better give him the thumbs up. Throw to Didcot, taken quickly, thrown back to Elkins. Elkins, in the shadow of a very bright light in my eyes, plays it into the feet of Haysham. Haysham back to Elkins. Elkins has got Dutton Black down the line, goes inside to Mills. Mills tries to turn it onto Haysham. And in the end, it's cleared by Matty Woodley on the apex of his own penalty area for North Leigh. Knocks it up to the halfway line. Sanders can't control for North Leigh. And in the end, Carnell, Leroyd and Elkins try and build from just inside their own half for Didcot. Long ball down the channel. Dutton Black cushions a header back. This time Haysham picks it up, faced by Osborne Ricketts. Rolls it back some 5 or 6 yards to Elkins, who lifts the ball up into Baines. Baines for Didcot, edge of the box. Tackle comes away. Chance there for Dutton Black. He's on his left peg. Does he fancy it? Little deflection goes just wide of Bullman's left-hand post. First corner of the match coming in there. And I did wonder if he was going to use the old swinger, and he did.
He did. It was actually a good effort, just deflected wide for a corner, but it was good. Actually, Didcot have had 30 seconds there on the ball, because for the first 2 or 3 minutes they didn't get a look in. It looked like North Leigh were going to just keep the ball for the whole 90 minutes for a moment there.
They will play football, North Leigh. I've seen them. They're very, very tidy, and I did like the way they've knocked the ball up into Kieran Sanders. Corners comes in. Chance goes a begging. Good flicked header. Comes right out the back, and on the volley at the back there is our man, dangerous Mr. Mills, who just drives it high and over the crossbar, but into the new stand that's being built. Slow progress on that stand.
It's only been built for the last 3 years, Selfy, so it's not a surprise it's not been done yet. If I can just say, we've had 4 chances in the first 4 minutes, but as an indication of John Mills' confidence in the minute, that fell to him about 15 yards out, but at an angle, and there's not many players that have tried to volley on their left foot from that angle, but that's the confidence he's got in the minute. It actually wasn't that far over.
It wasn't that far over. Long throw up there. Caton comes in off the right flank for North Leigh, but the foul is Saunders on Leroy, and it's taken quickly. Baines rolls it backwards to the right back here. Elkins back after a 3-match suspension. Rolls it into the feet of Haysham. Haysham's turned. He's midway inside the half of Didcot. Scoots away from Woodley. Plays it now to Baines. Baines feeds it far side. Left-hand side now. Chance for Whitehead to knock the ball in the box. Does. Flicked header on the near post coming across there. And it was a good effort there. Dutton Black cutting across his man, but he's just managed to direct it wide of Bournemouth's right-hand post for a goal kick. And both sides looking to play football. Yeah,
it was another good break from Didcot. Good ball in from Whitehead. I think it was Mills that just got in front of his defender. He thought it was a corner, but it wasn't given.
It wasn't indeed. Just got it sort of more on the shoulder and the nape of the neck, didn't he? Didn't quite get enough on it. It's a goal kick to North Leigh, defending the goal away to my right-hand side, past the very bright light, which is it's going to cause me burns, this is. I should have goggles on. It is very warm.
Hopefully your contact lenses won't fuse to your eyeballs.
There we are. That's a phrase I wouldn't want to say when I've had a drink. But the ball's gone straight out on the far side, bounces away. It's going to be a throw to North Leigh. Caton was the target. Tend to be pushing Caton wide at goal kicks and drop kicks out. The big centre-half playing centre-forward. He just ambles forward. Now it's a chance for Else with the ball in his hands to try and find a man. Aaron Woodley takes it, goes back. And on the far side, Else just checks and then comes back inside. Finds Osborne Ricketts. Immediately under pressure there from Haysham. Squared on this near side. And there's a chance, just opening his body up. Edel goes back now to Hull. Hull takes his time. Just midway point of his own half, spreads a beautiful ball right across on the far side. Excellently taken down by Else. Else steps inside of Whitehead, finds Sanders. Sanders now tries to take on Baines for Didcot. Baines does well, gets a toe in, finds Whitehead. Whitehead tries to roll it down now, and there's good covering back there again at the back by North Leigh. He picked the ball up and drive forward again. Sanders with a nice 1-2, gets away from Baines. Apex of the Didcot box, tries to roll it in. Good work by Self, just blocking it, gets a bit on it. And it's finally cleared by Carnell, but again, they've not really given themselves a chance to tidy up Didcot. Giving it straight back to North Leigh, but good work by Haysham. Manages to smuggle the ball back on the far side. And the man that receives it back there was Organ. Organ laid it long. Header came down, Self played it out, and they've lost the ball. Matty Woodley now for North Leigh. He finds Edel. Edel goes square and finds Westlake. Westlake further round the corner to Else. This is all inside the North Leigh half. They will play football in their own half. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online. Don't forget all the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk. Hit the black triangle. You can listen to us if you really want to. Live from the Didcot Engineer and Luke Meadows Stadium, where it is Didcot 0. North Leigh 0 after 7 minutes. Sanders, beautiful ball out on his near side, left side. Matty Woodley now with a chance to take on Elkins. Puts a high ball over the top of the crossbar, and that's a good job. There's a big fence behind the goal. Yeah, he's got a better left foot than that, Matty Woodley. He's actually very good at crossing from wide areas, but that one wasn't his best, and it sailed into the netting. Just both sides playing football. You've got North Leigh again spreading it across the back. 3 between Edel, Westlake and Hull. And you've got Didcot trying to get it wide to the fullbacks, and they're 2 men in front, Dutton Black and, of course, Whitehead. But currently it's with Foster. Foster lifts it out on this near side. Elkins the target. Will get a chance to bring it down on his chest on the halfway line. Cuts inside of Caton of North Leigh. He's got Osborne Ricketts in front. Rolls a lovely ball round the back. Mills is into the box. Being shadowed by Hull. Places it right across the face of the goal. No real support there for Mills inside the box, but a good ball down inside the fullback for him to get onto.
Yeah, it was a really good ball in, and Mills did the right thing. He took it down to the corner and then crossed, but unfortunately none of the Didcot players had supported, and a bit of a wasted chance that, because if a few had got forward there, I think there would have been a good chance.
Again, Elkins lifts it long. Dutton Black the target. Easy header away on this near side by Edel. There'll be a throw to Didcot, but Woodley just manages to keep it in. Matty plays it against Dutton Black, and in the end, Edel has to knock it long. Carnell, 4 yards inside his own half. Cushions a left foot volley down out to the right-hand side, where Elkins has a chance to go forward again. Inside of him is Self. He finds Self now. Self now drives forward, drives towards the middle. Osborne Ricketts comes to meet him. Little ball to Baines. Baines opens his body out and goes left-hand side and finds Organ. Organ touching the touchline, goes down the line. Chance for it to be swung in by Whitehead. It's a good ball in. Hull makes a horrible clearance. Comes out. Mills tries it. Good block there. Comes out. Haitian tries it. Mills gets a ricochet. Goes wide again. And you really fancied there was a chance there. Chance still, though, with Dutton Black. Dutton Black out to the apex of the box. Elkins comes in. Clips the ball in. Turned over the bar there by Bullman. Big pressure there. You fancied Mills was going to drive the first one in, but he didn't really get a great contact.
Well, it wasn't a great contact, but I think it was still goal-bound, and actually I think it was Stuart Hull that managed to get something on it, probably his knee or something, but there was a good 2 or 3 chances there. It was ricocheting around in the box.
There's a corner on the far side, and going over to take it will be Josh Dutton Black, but it sort of pinged around quite a lot there, didn't it? But all of a sudden, North Leigh didn't look too composed inside their own 18-yard box. We're into the 10th minute. Second corner of the match here for Didcot. Dutton Black will swing it in from the Didcot left. The goal away to my right-hand side. It's hung up there. Carnell goes up, flicks on the head, comes out Elkins. Elkins turns, he's got Baines in support. Baines just rolls it back in, and that is a really brave header there. And I can't see who it is. Westlake's gone down, and he's nearly had his head taken off by Hull.
Yeah, it was a brave header, that, because that was a ball into a dangerous area there.
It was a very dangerous area. The ball has come out on his near side. Ben Whitehead comes across, looks as though it's going to be corner number 3. Still goalless down here. 10th minute. Elkins goes short, takes it short as well. He's being trapped by Osborne Ricketts. The overlaps from Whitehead. Whitehead back down in the corner. The flag's not gone up here. Elkins with a chance to measure a ball in near post. Headed away. Edge of the box. Baines tries to drive it in. Loose ball breaks them. Carnell out to have a dig. It was actually Leroy to Carnell, and Carnell never really looked balanced, did he?
Well, he's a big centre-half, and I think probably left foot shots from edge of the box probably aren't his forte. I think if it had been a header, he'd have probably scored from there, but it's still a good chance, actually, wasn't it? It
was a good chance. All of a sudden, there is chances afforded around the North Leigh box, and they were very quick out of the blocks themselves as well. Lively game, 10 minutes gone. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online. Don't forget you can listen via all the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk, or via our technical team that bring you a radio player as well, which is oxbox.tv's radio player. Richard Kibb is with us today as our technical man. I'm sure I've seen him somewhere near the hot dog bag, but that's normally where he goes once he knows we're off and running. And you can follow us on Twitter at Oxford_sports. Don't forget, Oval Ball game next week. We're doing the Dark Blues versus the Wasps next Monday. Ball's back in play here. Sanders stabs it forward. McNish breaks from midfield, goes into the box, lifts it high over Foster's head and bar, and it hits the bin behind the goal. But there was a break. One thing we're seeing at the moment is that Sanders drops off and McNish will make a run beyond the midfield into the box.
Yeah, they looked dangerous up front, North Leigh, and that actually was a really good attempt. Didn't quite pull it off, but he tried to lob Foster there from about 20 yards. It went over the bar, easily over the bar, but actually it wasn't far off, and I think Foster, for a couple of moments there, looked in trouble.
It was going to be a very high lob, and you've got to remember Callum McNish started his life at Southampton for many years. Foster swings it out near side, halfway line. Elkins cushions the header down to Dutton Black. Nice header it is too. Dutton Black with a chance to go forward. Just behind him is Self, but he goes square to Haysham. Haysham finds Baines. Baines now drives forward, left-hand side, into the half of North Leigh. Wants to check inside, does check inside to Haysham. Haysham comes inside again. Dutton Black's got a chance to drive forward. 20 yards out. Right-footed shot squirts horribly off the outside of his boot. And for a moment, you're just hoping that sort of swerve was going to be a bit of dip towards a goal, but it wasn't. It was slewed horribly wide. Yeah, again, he didn't pull the shot off at all there, but actually pleased he went for it, because one of the things you could accuse Didcot at times is trying to overplay it, so it's nice to see him shooting from outside the box. North Leigh just settling down. A few players coming back for injury for them. Gunn is not here tonight. Hopkins not here tonight. Ingram's not here, been injured as well. Made a nice formidable partnership at the top of the park with Kieran Sanders. They're playing in the Floodlit Cup, which is down at the A-Plan Ensham Park Arena. And they've got a few players out, and at the moment, Chance goes begging into the middle of the park. Leroy is fouled by the challenge of Sanders. It's a free kick to Didcot. And Taken quickly by Baines, who squirts it from left to right. Elkins over the halfway line, driving forwards. Got Dutton Black just inside, steps inside of Woodley, but runs into a strong challenge there from Edel. Still, Elkins is going forward. Osborne Ricketts has done well. Loose ball is on the edge of the box. Chance for Dutton Black to get round. Good work by Edel. In the end, Dutton Black does well, and Stuart Hall clears it, only to the apex of the box. And it's Elkins now who finds Haysham. Haysham tries to turn it past his man, who was Aaron Woodley, did so, but it was cleared by the North Leigh rear guard. A little bit of rear guard action at the moment for North Leigh, maybe slightly on the back foot in this opening 13 minutes. Yeah,
Didcot have had a really good last 8 or 9 minutes, haven't they? They've applied most of the pressure, and North Leigh at the moment are clinging on a bit. It's been a good spell.
A little exchange of passes, Carnell and Elkins. Elkins puts a dangerous ball in the middle of the park. Woodley gets a toe on it. Osborne Ricketts tries to bring it down. Just shows too much to Mills, but he manages to turn away from 2 and now find Aaron Woodley. Aaron Woodley runs into Dutton Black and in the end has to turn it back from the halfway line to Stuart Hall. Holt dead centre of his own half. Centre half, gone for the long raking diagonal ball, looking for Sanders, who's got himself in behind Organ and Leroy. And as the header goes on, it's caught safely because it's Organ that heads it back towards his own dead ball line. And Foster gathers safely away on the left-hand side of his penalty area. And it's really nip and tuck. The first goal could be quite a big goal in this game. They say that goals change mentalities, but you've got to score when you're on top, and Didcot seem to be slightly in the ascendancy. Long ball down the line by Organ, doesn't find Whitehead or Haysham, and it's cleared with a little bit of aplomb there by Westlake on the far side, and it goes away for a throw, which is taken quickly by Didcot. Baines comes short, exchanges it there with Whitehead. Baines tries to roll it into the feet of Mills, who tries a bit of an air shot there, trying to turn it around the corner. Long ball up, Leroy cushions the header up to the halfway line. Good bit of work there by Organ, beating the challenger Sanders. And in the end, Mills has volleyed it diagonally backwards and finds his right back, Elkins, for Didcot. Goes over the halfway line into the feet of Dutton Black. Just checks one way and then the other. Tries to play it on for Elkins. Elkins do well, though, to bring that ball down. Maybe the better option there would have been to go back inside. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was a good bit of skill, actually. He was a little bit unlucky the ball went out, but you're right. I think with hindsight, he should have let it run and run onto it. There we are. It is a chance back there, and North Leigh coming away from their own 18-yard box. They do like to play football there. Self with a strong header, heads it up, finds Mills. Mills cushions a header out to Baines. Baines just lets it run across his body out to the left-hand side. Little layoff there towards the left touchline. Organ comes forward. Back into Baines it goes. Turns it around the corner quite nicely. Finds Haysham. Haysham off the front line here. Chance to take on Aaron Woodley. Steps to his right peg. Comes out to Dutton Black. Dutton Black's got Elkins on the overlap, but Matty Woodley sticks to his guns. Haysham picks up the loose ball. Still hugging the touchline is Elkins, but Haysham goes into the feet of Mills. Mills will return. Dutton Black's into the box. One-on-one with the keeper. Squares it right behind everybody in Osborne Ricketts with a chance there to clear on the far side. And again, North Leigh were just caught ball watching as they played it nicely around the railway man inside the 18-yard box of North Leigh. Self-driving forward now, plays it back down the channel, doesn't find his man, cleared there by Westlake, but North Leigh finding it a little bit difficult at the moment because Didcot are driving forward and finding feet. Terrific move again. It's probably 8 or 9 passes there when the ball fell to Dutton Black on the right. It was actually a good ball across, but once again, I think Didcot didn't quite have the numbers in the box. Long ball up, and it's going to be headed over his own keeper, and it goes. Is that just past the goal? For a minute there, that looked as though it caught the post and gone into the back of the net, but it's gone behind the goal, and that was a very, very long, direct ball through the heart of the North Leigh defence, and it was just headed wide of his own keeper by Westlake, and I held my breath. I don't know about you. Well, didn't that remind you of the goal that Didcot conceded at Beaconsfield? Yeah, don't go there. Well, exactly the same. Long ball over the top. We'd like to forget. Yeah, ball over the top, centre back, and the goalkeeper weren't on the same wavelength, and North Leigh very lucky there because that must have missed by less than a foot, I would think, because the ball actually ended up in the back of the net but behind it. Yep. Baines takes his short ball, lays it in. Carnell's there, free header. What a save by Bullman. Going away to his right hand side. Elkins fights it in. This time it is in. And it's finished from distance, and the keeper, Bullman, there did not deserve to be beaten there because that save from Carnell's header from just 3 yards, he's poured it away, but they've only cleared it to the edge of the box, and Elkins has thundered a right foot shot in the 17th minute. And Bullman, I've got to say, great goal, great save. You've got to feel for Matt Bullman there. He could do no more than that. Carnell's original header, probably from about 3 or 4 yards out. Fantastic one-handed save. The ball was cleared back out to Elkins, just on the edge of the box. He kept his head down, was what you got to do there. He struck it, and I don't think Bullman actually saw it. It almost went through his hands. So
Actually, a really good finish, but you really feel for Bournemouth there. He didn't deserve to concede, did he?
He didn't really, because that was some serious save from Carnell, who wins a lot of ball in the air and only from about 3 or 4 yards. And Elkins has said, well, you might have saved that, but you ain't even going to see this one. And he drives it in. It's 1-0 Didcot in this Red Insure Cup, brought to you by Oxfordshire Sports Online. You can listen in a variety of ways on your tablets, on your phone, or your apps and all the rest of it, your laptops and everything else. All the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk, or you can go to oxbox.tv's radio player where you'll hear this as well. Don't forget, follow us at Oxford_sports. Yards taken on down on the far side. Else tries to get it round. Looks like it's going to be a corner now to North Leigh. We'll look for a quick riposte here in the 18th minute. But that was a fine strike by Elkins after a superb save. A save the like, which will be lost in the fact that the goal went in. The save the like you'll struggle to see. It's not actually a corner, it's a throw deep in the corner. And now it is a corner because the covering header come from Whitehead. It was a terrific stop, wasn't it just?
Don't want to overplay it, but it's one of the best saves I think I've seen this season.
It was really good. He had no reaction time. Maybe the close proximity of the header. Corner's taken quickly here. It's going to be drilled in again. The heads go up. Good take. Clean take there by Foster. Nice pair of hands there. Stuck in the gloves. Caton was with him. And also coming forward was Hull. And Foster just takes his time. He'll be looking to bowl it out. Finds Carnell. Carnell's got Caton with him, but he just stabs it through the hole to Self. Self with a bit of space to gallop towards the halfway line. Looking for an outball. The outball will be Dutton Black. Does well there. Plays it into Dutton Black's feet, who comes in off the right flank and plays it to Haysham. Haysham checks across two slip, gets away from Osborne Rickett, runs into McNish. He'll have to come out and start again. Dutton Black's there to support, but he plays a bit of an awkward ball out on the far side, the left-hand side to Baines, who retrieves it before rolling it back some 10 yards to Leroyd. Leroyd has to go for a ball to nothing long, and North Leigh pick it off and drive forward again. Else into Caton for North Leigh. Back at Else on the touchline in front of the dugouts. Rolls it back now to Westlake. Westlake with time. What will he do? He's under pressure now from Ben Whitehead. Has to go all the way back to Bullman. And Bullman now will try and pick his spot from his own 18-yard box away to my right-hand side, the North Leigh keeper. It goes long. Sanders a target. Leroyd's beaten to the ball. Caton won't get on there. Carnell will clear. It's high. It's hanging. It's through the lights. Far side. Nice control by Else, the right wing-back now. Trying to drive on. Steps away from Baines. Baines gets a time for Didcot. Throw to North Leigh. Midway inside the half of Didcot town. Taken quickly again. Westlake gets the throw from Else. Now he's lifting it towards the penalty spot. Too long. Foster comes and gathers quite safely. And at the moment, Didcot just forcing North Leigh to go a little bit long at the moment. Some 40-yard balls. Self finds Dutton Black. Goes back to Self. Self on the lip of his centre circle inside the Didcot half. Stabs it forward to Haysham, who steps away from a rash challenge there from Westlake. Draven forward, gives it to Mills. Mills edge of the box on his right peg. He's got a chance on his left. Rolls it out now to Whitehead. Whitehead with a bit of space there. Under pressure, fires it low right across the face of goal. Scurrying across there was Edel, but Whitehead found himself in a lot of space. The angle was narrow, and it's just flashed it across the face of goal.
He's got an excellent left foot, Ben Whitehead. I've seen him score 2 or 3 goals from that position. And again, Didcot moved that really well. Pablo Haysham through the middle, beat a couple of players. John Mills saw Whitehead in space on the left, rolled it into him. He took a touch, and I don't suppose it was more than a couple of feet wide. But the game's really settled down. But we predicted goals, and we've had just the one so far. But what a great game it's been. It's been end-to-end, really, hasn't it?
It has been end-to-end. And what's really interesting, actually, having seen these sides quite a few times this season, 3 or 4 times for North Leigh and 3 times for Didcot, is just how good the standard of football is. They are both playing football. They're no quarters given or asked for, but they're playing football. You know, they're challenging fairly. And Baines again just to have fouled Osborne Ricketts. 3 yards inside the Didcot half. The yellow shirts and North Leigh swarm around it. McNish and Osborne Ricketts look to start. Taken quickly and short, just to his right by McNish to Osborne Ricketts, who tries to find Caton. Caton tries to peel in behind, and the flag is up on the far side from the referee's assistant. And at the moment, we've got to say that the centre-half, centre-forward, Mr. Caton, hasn't really affected too much. Been well marshalled at the back by Carnell and Leroyd. Foster plays it into the feet of Self. Self finds Dutton Black. Dutton Black tries to go around the corner, runs into Matty Woodley. Matty Woodley tries to drive forwards, finds Sanders, 30 yards from goal for North Leigh. Got a chance to try and take on Baines. Steps inside of Baines, rolls it through to Caton. Caton with a layoff. Leroy ties up and finds Whitehead. Whitehead will turn it up towards Mills. Mills is well shackled there as Westlake dives in, and Hull will have to pick up the ball on the far side. The back three moving around quite a lot. The only people that's really solid is Edel on this near side, but Hull has gone from centre to right-hand side. as Westlake just heads that ball up in the air. Halfway line, North Leigh get it down, and Holt, under pressure from John Mills, has to spin and play it back to the central point of his own half, the North Leigh captain. He finds Westlake. Westlake finds Edel. Edel, under pressure from Dutton Black, goes all the way back to his own keeper, Bullman. And as I said, you've got to be impressed with the style of football. You're a Didcot board member, so you must be happy with what Didcot are doing, but you must be mightily impressed, as you know, with the Millers, because they do knock the ball around nicely.
Both teams want to keep the ball. They want to keep it on the ground, and that's what actually supporters really like watching. But it does help you've got two teams here that have players in those teams that can play that type of football. That's really evident tonight, isn't it? Both sides trying to play football.
I do remember coming and watching a game some years ago between Oxford City and Didcot. Playoff semi-final, and the football that night was just an absolute, you could drool over it for the standard and everything else. It really was a quality night of football. Osborne Ricketts finds Safida Sanders. Sanders 25 yards from the Didcot goal, faced by Leroy, goes outside of him again, apex of the box, checks back. Got a chance to go across. Baines does well. Comes out to Osborne Ricketts. Self robs him nicely on the edge of the box. McNish has to slide it all the way back to the halfway line. And in the end, the centre half that come forward there. Edel tried to curl it out on this left-hand side of Matty Woodley, but he's curled it too long and just given away a little bit of possession. But just a bit there where Osborne Ricketts, McNish and Sanders were just starting to play the ball around the 18-yard box of Didcot. Yeah,
I quite like the fact that Elliot Osborne Ricketts so far has played most of his game sitting very deep and just in front of the back three, but there's a great symmetry about this game. Osborne Ricketts and Jack Self are playing similar roles for both sides, i.e. Self doing the same role as Osborne Ricketts is for North Leigh, and then up front Haysham and Sanders are playing similar roles. It's a great symmetry.
Great work by Mills at the moment. I'll tell you, past that ball, he comes square on this side to Dutton Black, just on the edge of the North Leigh box, tries to slip it through. Matty Woodley gets a toe on it, and in the end, Edel plays it up to Woodley. Woodley ran the corner to McNish. McNish now for North Leigh, 10 yards shy of the halfway line. Checks and decides to go from left to right, coming in off the far side and going through there. Tries to get it through. Great cutout there by Leroy. Trying to see who that was that came through with that pass in the middle of the park. But now a long ball over the top for Didcot. Sees Haysham get to the apex of the box. Tries to cut it back through his legs, but just ricochets off his standing leg. And in the end, he's done well to put the North Leigh player under pressure. He's gone away for a corner. Edel got himself in a little bit of trouble there. Looked in command, but Pablo never gave it up.
Well, I think Haysham beat himself there with a bit of trickery with his feet, but it actually worked out. Then Els tried to be too clever, and he's given away the corner.
It was a nice bit of work there, but it was a superb ball through for John Mills. And it was also a very good ball through by, I think it was Els that put a ball through for North Leigh. So all of a sudden the passes are finding their intended targets. We're into the 25th minute. It's a high hanging ball. Carnell's a target, gets enough on it, goes back towards the corner taker, who is Ben Whitehead, and Aaron Woodley just knocks it long into the half of Didcot. Kieran Sanders gets the ball down, tracked by Self. He's going to try and go inside Self. Self turns himself around. He's got to get outside. Done well to hold him up. He's still there. It's Self. So is Organ, and the two of them manage to get the ball away. And Elkins picks up the loose ball for Didcot, drives it long. Haysham's just got off a train, I think, because he's just coming back from the far end.
Yeah.
He was a bit slow coming out there.
Having a blow there, wasn't he?
He was just having a blow there, by all means. 26 minutes gone. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online, bringing you Red Insure Cup football. Self picks up a loose ball, finds Haysham on the halfway line. Little toe out to Ben Whitehead. Whitehead tries to slide it through for Mills. Good defensive work there by Holt. Holt finds Matty Woodley, who's under a bit of pressure. And the man at the back there again, who is Edel, he's not too happy on the ball. Finds McNish. McNish on the lip of the centre circle, plays it out far side. And it will be the right wing back, Alsett, twists and turns before rolling it back to Holt. Holt finds McNish. McNish on the halfway line for North Leigh, tries to put it up into the feet of Caton. Does so. Caton does exceptionally well to come off of Leroy. Finds Sanders. Sanders goes past two, flashes a shot. It's gone wide, but he worked his opening and it didn't quite come off. You listen to Red Insure Cup football. Didcot down 1 goal after 17 minutes. A fantastic save from almost point-blank range by Bullman in the North Leigh goal, palming it away to his left-hand side from a Carnell header, but it came out to the edge of the box and Sam Elkins drilled it in for 1-0. That is the only goal that separates these two sides. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online, courtesy of the Oxbox.tv's radio player, and you can also listen on our own website, all the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk. Joined tonight by Steve Clare, who is on the board here at Didcot, trying not to be biased, but you must be happy with your side.
Yeah, I'm failing miserably, aren't I? Yes, I am happy, obviously, with the score, but it's just been a good game, actually. I think all the neutrals in the crowd will be thoroughly enjoying this and hoping for a bit more.
Long ball there by Foster. Good header on by Whitehead. Whitehead finds Mills. Mills finds Haysham. Haysham comes to the right-hand side to Dutton Black. Dutton Black with a chance to take on Matty Woodley. Goes back inside, 22 yards away from the goal of North Leigh, but Haysham just caught in possession. Knocked ball up to the halfway line. Carnell can't get the ball off of Sanders. Sanders flaps it with the outside of his boot, and Caton's got in behind Carnell. Low shot in, taken quite nicely, and he's a long way away from his goal with Foster there. If Caton had got a little bit of chip on that, there could have been a real chance there, but all of a sudden there, Luke Carnell was span and didn't really seem to have the legs of Caton. Yeah,
a couple of times in the first minute, and then just then Caton's had a run in the left channel. Perhaps he's shown his slight inexperience up front there, I would say, because the finish wasn't great and he didn't have much conviction behind it, but he's certainly causing one or two problems when he gets to run on Carnell. Well,
if they get the ball into Kieran Sanders' body and Caton, North Leigh have got a real chance. They tend to want to get it up there, lay it down, get the people there, and Woodley, Aaron Woodley, Callum McNish and Else into the game again. The ball from the keeper Bullman up to Sanders, who holds it up well. He finds Osborne Ricketts on the halfway line. A little slide pass there to McNish. McNish back to Sanders. Sanders will go back towards the centre spot for Osborne Ricketts, who now drives forward, tries to play it forward. Good sliding challenge there by Self. Gets enough on it to find Dutton Black. And in the end, Dutton Black rolls it back to the edge of his box to Elkins. Long ball by Elkins, and now it's Mills. Mills with a chance to take on his man in front of him. Goes out on his left. Good defensive work this time by Westlake. Robs Mills. Mills just wanted it to go back on his left peg and just showed enough to Westlake to clear the danger. But all of a sudden, there's a few chances either end. Caton this time gets the long ball down, but only finds Elkins. Elkins finds Self. Self rolls it to the centre spot and finds Baines. Baines with a little dink ball over the top. Easy header away this time by Edel. Edel finds Else. Else goes up to the halfway line. The Sanders got a chance to turn and run. Steps inside of Baines. Comes out left-hand side. He's got Matty Woodley, who's going to go in behind Elkins. Chance for Matty Woodley to get to the dead ball line. Just beats him out of play. The greasy turf there. Just seeing the ball pick up a little bit more pace there, Steve.
Yeah, it wasn't a great ball through from Sanders, although I think he's been terrific so far. That Kieran Sanders, he stands out for me as a player. I think any team in this Southern League, South and West Division would want Sanders in their side. Fantastic. Earlier than that, actually, he was a fantastic bit of defending by Westlake for North Leigh.
I'll tell you what, that's a very lively challenge. I don't think there's any maliciousness there. Else saw the ball and has gone in to win it. And just as he's tried to get there, Leroyd's played it up the park. I don't think there's any malicious intent there whatsoever, but it looked a whole heap worse from here, didn't it?
Yeah, also the way that Adam Leroyd stayed down and sort of span round on his backside after the challenge, you worry about that, but he's picked himself up, so let's hope he's okay to carry on. It looks like he's limping off, but he should be okay.
Yeah, it was more like the wet turf allowed him to spin a bit like a break dancer, didn't he? You know, sort of knees up to the chest and just rolling on the small of his back.
That's exactly what happened there. But I actually quite like the fact that referee Howick there hasn't booked Else, because like you said, there was no malicious intent in that at all.
I don't know why the referee has now decided that free kick's got to be taken again, but he has done. Leroyd will get the finger to come back onto the field of play, and Carnell, 10 yards inside his own half, spreads it right-hand side. Elkins goes up above Matty Woodley, but his header will sail away for a goal kick to North Leigh. 31 minutes on the clock, plenty of chances, just the one goal dividing to two sides, and of course I suppose the question is, bearing in mind that these two will come up against each other, home and away in the division, will there be much of a mark of these two sides? Will there be a little bit of homework done by the relative managerial pairings about the next time they face each other?
Almost certainly, because I think both sides have taken this competition seriously tonight and put out strong sides. As we said earlier, neither manager wants to lose this.
Good ball out there by Bullman. Flat driven from the goal kick out to Aaron Woodley. Woodley now plays it to Osborne Ricketts, who from the centre of the Didcot half plays it out to the left-hand side of Matty Woodley. Back inside to McNish. McNish finds Osborne Ricketts back to goal, back to the Didcot goal, plays it back now to Hull. Hull 5 or 6 yards in from their right-hand touchline, plays it in. Edge of the box cleared by Leroyd, a big strong leg there. And in the end, Osborne Ricketts can't get the ball down. Mills will put Hull under pressure, who from some 8 or 9 yards inside his own half rolls it all the way back to the keeper Bullman. But interesting. I saw a terrific bit of work by Aaron Woodley in 2 of the games against Totton and Wantage. When he gets the ball down, when he believes in what he can do, he is a really dangerous footballer. Little turns, little tweaks, and very, very good over 4 or 5 yards. McNish tries to play the ball into Sanders, gets it there. Baines just missing out on the bounce. Leroyd wins the tackle. Osborne Ricketts for North Leigh picks up the loose ball, turns it back there to Hull. Hull back to Osborne Ricketts, 6 or 7 yards inside to Didcot half. North Leigh trying to hold the ball now. Hull just about 3 yards in from that left touchline of Didcot. And in the end, Baines cuts it out and knocks it long, but Hull gets himself back in possession and tidies up. And in the end, plays the ball back slightly blind net. Westlake manages to get away from the attentions of Mills and rolls it back to the edge of the 18, where Bullman, the keeper for North Leigh, plays it out to Edel. Edel finds Westlake. Westlake goes out to the far touchline, and it'll be Hull that'll rake a long ball up, looking to go in behind Leroyd and Carnell for Didcot. Caton won't get there. Foster comes to the apex of the box and gathers. Just a little bit of a quiet time now. Both sides seem to have got the measure of each other, and chances will be at a premium, Steve.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes has been quieter, but I guess the game, in some respects, needed that because the sides were really going for it. I think they would have ended up on their knees probably midway through the second half. So I think it's natural that the game's going to quieten down a bit, but still fascinating stuff out there.
It is fascinating stuff. We talk about the Red Insure Club Cup. It's not one that sort of jumps off the page. And as you say, the trophy this weekend is worth a lot of money to both these sides, isn't it, again?
Yeah, huge amount. I mean, it's not quite as much as the FA Cup, but you're talking thousands of pounds. And to clubs at this level, it's a massive thing. I'll throw in another reason why the Didcot managers, Jamie Heapy and Ian Kincannon, will want to win this, is that they've never won a cup game in charge of Didcot. I think they've had 45 games in charge, and if they win tonight, it's the first cup game they've won. Well,
that will be a first as North Leigh come forward. Little ball there played off by Edel. Edel finds Osborne Ricketts. Now finds Woodley. Woodley's going to be put under pressure and robbed quite easily there by Haysham. Good tackles by Elliot Osborne Ricketts. Ball goes out to Whitehead, whose first time ball. Crossfield was looking for Mills, but just bobbled as he played it and goes through to the keeper Bullman for North Leigh. Bowls it out quickly. Westlake has just given a ball to Baines. Baines tries to play it through to Mills, and just good opportunity there. I think everybody sensed that, including Mills. It was pinged. You've got to get your passes there, but he's got it there with a bit too much sort of pace, but not a lot of accuracy.
If it had been accurate, he was almost clean through. He just had to turn and probably had to run on Bullman there. But a couple of chances there for Didcot. They with a bit more composure, I think they could have had a good couple of chances.
Referee there just pulling Osborne Ricketts up. He caught Selfy and playing the ball forward. And yeah, they do like Elliot Osborne Ricketts here, but they also like him to make a mistake by the sounds of it.
Well, I think it's reference to the fact he gets himself into trouble with what he says. It's not his game. He's one of the best footballers I've ever seen at Didcot, but
one of the finest talkers.
Yeah, I'm afraid that lets him down a bit.
Almost as good as that wonderful player from Fleet that managed to fall over, get up and get himself set off. That was quite comical, in fairness.
That's it. I think when Elliot was here, I'd say 80% of the yellow cards he got was for what he said rather than what he did, which is a shame, really.
Elkins, good burst forward, finds Dutton Black, but a good toe in there by Osborne Ricketts means that Caton breaks forward now. Rolls it into the fit of Sanders. Still Caton goes down the left-hand side. Poor ball by Sanders. Easily picked out by Self. Self finds Elkins. Chance for Didcot to go forward. Elkins does well as Aaron Woodley shuts the space up. And coming across, Edel just stabs the ball out of play for North Leigh. Throw to Didcot down there, right-hand side as they attack the goal away to my right-hand side. Leaded by a goal to nil. Scored by Elkins, the right back. Back from, was it a 3-game suspension?
Yeah, again, there was a bit of silliness, wasn't it?
I wasn't there, but I'm sure a lot of players do tend to go off for some of the. I used to be brilliant. I could get myself booked in a paper bag. Honestly, I could talk my way into anything. Elliot Osborne Ricketts comes forward for North Leigh up to the halfway line. Woodley's out on his left-hand side, stabs it past Elkins. Now it's Aaron Woodley coming in off this left flank. Goes inside of Elkins, who's got himself back. He's 25 yards from goal on his right peg. Tries to clip a ball in. Caton makes his way in. It's a good save by Foster. There was a slip by Carnell there. Profited by Caton, and Caton had a chance, and Foster came out. Schmeichel-esque. Made himself big, and Caton just volleyed it into the chest there of Foster. So 2 good saves by both keepers. The best thing is, for Didcot fans, is that good save wasn't followed up by a ricochet that fell to a player who could drill it into the back of the net. Bullman slightly unfortunate with a goal on 17 minutes. Long ball up, again into the body of Sanders, who brings it down nicely. Baines will have to do well to get his body across the ball. Sanders battles well and finds Else. Else now finds Sanders again. Sanders a little stab, lays McNish to drive forward for North Leigh. Else goes outside of the fullback Organ, but McNish still holds the football, comes inside and finds Osborne Ricketts, who tries to get away this time from Baines. Plays a nice ball out to his left-hand side. It's Aaron Woodley, apex of the box, rolls it in, flicks off the head of Elkins. Else now picks it up on the far side, brings it down his chest, and then Larrup's a left foot shot, which is neither attractive or really dangerous.
No, not the best of finishes. Again, Sanders was key to that move. What a great player he is. A really clever ball out wide that presented another quick break for North Leigh, which didn't quite come off. But we go back to the chance to Caton. He's had 3 decent chances this half. I wonder if that last one had fallen to Kieran Sanders, whether that would have been a different outcome.
Yeah, there's a little bit that sort of says to you that he gets inside an 18-yard box and doesn't know whether he's quite a defender or a centre forward. A little layoff there. Self goes with a ball over the top. What a great ball that is. Mills will try and get in. Keeper comes out in the end and just gets there. What an excellent ball that was. Just pierced the two centre halves, and Mills run onto it, and in the end Bournemouth had to come out and make a lot of yards to clear it away. Didcot on the attack again, little layoff to Baines. Baines has got Whitehead left hand side but goes further left. Whitehead's not happy. Organ there will put the ball in, and in fairness Matty Woodley will head it out. Chance over Dutton Black, who gets it down inside the box, cuts onto his left peg, tries to curl it and curls it wide, and again the chances come. I do wonder if this trio at the back, it's the first time I've seen Edel, Westlake and Hull at the back. It's normally Turk and Caton at the back with Hull. You just wonder if they're just finding it difficult to play with each other.
Yeah, I don't like picking out individual players, but I think Edel's either got the wrong studs on. He's fallen over a couple of times. He's clearly a good player, but he slipped a couple of times, and that's caused them problems at the back there. And that ball through actually was a fantastic ball over the top, but it was no more than that. And for it to present almost someone with a one-on-one, you think that's probably not brilliantly defended. And I think, again, Edel was probably caught flat-footed.
I think he was just caught by the flight of the ball.
Yeah.
He sort of come in and got under it and then find he couldn't get right. If you're wondering out there, Millers fans, there's no Jamie Cook this evening. Rested for this evening. Jamie Cook, the man that has played very high level of football, now involved with the Millers, and obviously an integral part of their squad as they try to break the tag of being an early men in Division 1 South and West. They've been on the fringes of the playoffs for many, many years. Marchie's done a fantastic job down there, so has Peter King, and indeed as assistant Malcolm McIntosh, but they really will want to just break that little stranglehold they got. Osborne Ricketts receives a pass from Sanders, and a loose shot, good block there by Whitehead, finds Self, and Self's just discharged the ball long. This time again, Edel sort of makes a read. I don't think he's actually seen the ball through the flight of the air very well there, and he's passed it to McNish. McNish has lost out now from Dutton Black. Dutton Black with a chance to drive forward, tries to play it to Mills. Mills on the edge of the box, cuts in towards left peg. He's got two, he's taken too many touches, taken three, taken four, and in the end the shot is blocked and goes wide. But I've got to say there, you said at the start of the show, JP, I think, had three chances to ping that shot in.
He does that all the time. I mean, this season it's still come off. He often beats the first defender, but after two or three shimmies, eventually he loses the ball. But that was another good block actually from North Leigh. It's another corner.
I honestly, I'd have pulled it a long way before that, I have to say. Corner's going to come in, and it's high and it's hanging. Carnell's the target. He gets up above everybody, just glances it wide this time of Bullman's right-hand post. But all of a sudden, Didcot again just showing that they raised the bar, and before you know it, it's going goalwards for them. Is that yours or mine?
I think it's probably yours.
That's mine. Unless you must have paid extra money to get it right up to the brim like that. But, you know what I mean? You know what I mean now. It looks like I've got a coffee top there.
Every time, we said this in previous games, every time Didcot get a corner or a set piece, Carnell in particular, but also Adam Leroy, real dangerous from set pieces. And every time the ball's been in the area tonight and Carnell's been up there, Didcot have almost scored.
Elliot Osborne Ricketts there, just a little clip there on Haysham. And Elliot Osborne Ricketts, he likes to contest every decision, doesn't he, Elliot?
I'd like it, but you just sometimes wonder whether his energy's sapped by what he's saying rather than what he's doing. I can't say enough about him as a footballer. I think
he played a lot of games down there, didn't he?
He's absolutely brilliant footballer. Love him.
Long ball up this time, up towards the intended target there, who's Haysham, but Osborne Ricketts gets it after the header away. McNish rolls it up to the feet of Sanders. Sanders 3 yards inside his own half, turns it on there to McNish on the halfway line. He's got Woodley in a little pocket here, and there's a chance for Woodley, Aaron Woodley. He's got on the left-hand side Matty Woodley, gets it out to Woodley. Woodley goes inside to Osborne Ricketts. Aaron Woodley drops off. Osborne Ricketts tries to little go with McNish. In the end, the ball is played back to the centre of the Didcot half. And it is Aaron Woodley that's turned around by Baines, but he's going to spin away and go out far side. The intended target on the far side is Sanders this time. Will try and come in, go inside of Whitehead. Good, strong challenge there by Organ. Gets the ball away. Haysham doesn't pick it up, but Whitehead does. And now there's a chance on the break here. Now there's a real chance. Can he play it nicely? He does. Ben Whitehead outside the left boot. Plays it out to the left wing now. Haysham now with a chance to drive forward on the apex of the box's hole. The North Leigh captain cuts in on his right. He's taken a lot of people on. Reverse ball going into the box there. Excellent work there. Whitehead got there, but Else got a toe in it. Whitehead tries to play it back in, and this time it is going to be Westlake that blocks the ball. Whitehead still in possession though, facing the touchline on the far side. Tries to give it back, and again North Leigh get away with it. Else though gives it away, and Organ tries to clip it down the line and out of play. But again, there's just that sort of maybe one touch too many.
Yeah, it was good to actually see Didcot breaking numbers there. I mean, we've criticised them earlier in the half where Mills has had a couple of chances, he pulled it back and no one there. But that time, I mean, Jack Self must have run 80 yards himself to get in the box. And actually, that numbers up. Unfortunately, this time, Didcot didn't actually get the quality into the box.
No, it's as I say, the pitch looks pretty good from here. I won't give you the famous Chris Wilder phrase about the football pitches he used to play, but let's just say he likened it to his wife. Looks good from a distance, but the next line I can't say on any form of radio. But there we are. Free kick has gone the way of North Leigh.
At least it looks good from a distance.
Yeah, but not when... anyway, it's going to be a free kick. I'll leave you there. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online via all the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk, or indeed via the oxbox.tv's radio player. Brought to you courtesy of Richard Kibbe, Gavin Hyatt, the Oxbox boys that help us get a platform. Long ball up this time by Bullman. Flicked on by Sanders. Should run all the way through to Foster, who takes it safely and gathers the goal away to my left-hand side. We're moving into the final sort of 2.5 regulation minutes of this first half. Still the side separated by that goal on 17 minutes from Elkins. A great finish, but what preceded it was excellent. Carnell header from 3 or 4 yards and a save. A beautiful save by Bullman, but when it finally came out to the edge of the box, Elkins back from a 3-card suspension, absolutely rasped it in from 17 yards to make it 1-0, and that is how it is as we currently stand going into the last few moments of this first 45 in the Red Insure Cup down here at the Didcot Engineering Loop Meadows Stadium. Elkins, the goal scorer, free kick for Didcot, 6 or 7 yards inside the half of North Leigh. Clips it up towards Carnell. Carnell goes up, beaten in the air this time by Hole and Westlake. Loose ball 30 yards out, picked up by Haysham. Steps away from one, plays it out left-hand side to Whitehead. Whitehead shy of the touchline, plays it in, hits the rump of Hole, and McNish just knocks a long ball up looking for Caton. Doesn't get there. Caton now tries to put Self under pressure. He's cleared up really nicely in behind his back line, as Saunders was there as well. Clears it out far side. And again, Didcot will have to prepare to receive a long throw down the line. Else has decided to leave it to Captain Stuart Hall for North Leigh, and he'll take the throw just about on the halfway line, right flank. And he throws it back into his own half to Westlake. Westlake sweeps it with his right peg out to his left, and Edel now gallops up to the halfway line for North Leigh. Doesn't take the pass to McNish and goes to Aaron Woodley. Aaron Woodley, though, being forced back there by Elkins. Gives it back to McNish. McNish steps inside of Haysham, rolls it into the feet of Caton. Caton gallops and plays it out left-hand side to Matty Woodley. Matty Woodley now rolls it back some 15 yards to his brother Aaron. Aaron now goes forward. A little bit of chance to run at some players, and he tries to run at Self, and Self does excellent. Lovely little tugger there by Self, who knocks the ball now down the channel. Mills is the recipient down in the channel. Going across there is Westlake. Mills will just put him under pressure. It's just going to beat the pair of them out. He makes Westlake play, and he turns it back into his own penalty area, does the North Leigh centre half, and finds Edel. Edel comes forward, plays it to McNish. McNish is being swarmed all over by Haysham straight away. Plays it out to Westlake again on this near side. They're exchanging passes but not making much headway. North Leigh might play football, but they're playing it around their own 18-yard box. And Edel hasn't got a lot to aim for. Knocks it long. Caton gets a flick on above Carnell, but that should just slip through to the keeper Foster, who goes to pick it up and then just side foots it out to Organ. Organ's got 2 yellow shirts all over his back this time. Back to Foster. Foster lays it up to the halfway line. Cut out quickly by North Leigh. Osborne Ricketts 4 or 5 yards inside his own half. Spins away from a slipping Baines and now tries to drive forward to Woodley. Woodley tries a little back heel. Runs into Carnell. Still Aaron Woodley has the ball. Plays it out. Tries to get it over the head of the left back for Didcot. Organ, who heads the ball away, but it's picked up by Sanders for North Leigh. North Leigh now trying to build late on in this first half. We're into time added on, and it's back on the halfway line. Edel, one of the 3 centre halves, spreads it out to Matty Woodley, who's hugging the touchline right in front of the main stand down here at the Didcot Engineering Loop Meadows Stadium. Back it goes to the halfway line to Edel. Edel finds McNish. McNish tries to spin away from Haysham. Runs towards the 18-yard box. Caton's touch, bit heavy, but he manages to pick it up and roll it back now to Aaron Woodley. Woodley to Sanders. Sanders, lip of the centre circle on the Didcot side. Plays it for North Leigh out to Hull. Hull back into Sanders. Sanders still midway inside the half of Didcot. Tries to clip it through. Does clip it through, but that runs all the way through to Foster. And that is the end of the first 45 minutes here at the Didcot Engineering Loop Meadows Stadium, where the only goal that separates the sides is a goal by Elkins, back after 3 matches missing for a red card. But let's be honest, when the corner came in on 17 minutes, Carnell with a superb header from 4 yards and a fantastic save by Bullman. Poured it away, looked like it was a certain goal. It was a great save. North Leigh only cleared it to the edge of the box, and Elkins fired the goal in from 17 yards, a rasping shot. Didcot possibly territorial and chances-wise were on top in the first 45. But for now, we've got to say that at the half-time whistle here at the Didcot Engineer Loop Meadow Stadium, it is Didcot Town 1, North Leigh 0, and you are listening to Oxfordshire Sports Online.
Oxfordshire Sports Online, sponsored by Avalon National Pool Covers, the only truly independent pool cover company, installing, maintaining, servicing and cleaning all types of pool covers.
Hi everybody listening and anyone who has stumbled across the internet and is tuning in to today's live broadcast. Who are Oxfordshire Sports Online and what is it? More importantly, what will it be doing? Oxfordshire Sports Online is an internet-based broadcasting platform with a difference. Our aim is to deliver live sporting events broadcast from around the county and around the country, uncovering the sports left in the shade by the mainstream sports stations. Just because the manpower isn't available or the interest is perceived not to be there by others doesn't mean it's not needed, and the internet is the way forward, despite radio broadcasters saying the contrary. They all use it. After trialling our system at various events, we are now building our audience and raising awareness. So far, we have brought publicity to ice hockey, futsal, semi-pro football, varsity events, so no sport is out of our reach, from boxing to athletics. Remember, many people live or work abroad but want a regulation dose of their local sporting affiliation. The internet's reach is worldwide, and as a service, it is unrivaled. So, as the fixtures are released, we will be planning and plotting our coverage. But we can also be sponsored to cover your event with professionalism. To find past podcasts, past shows, interviews, etc., head to our production company website. All the W's, aselfproduction.co.uk, and hit the Oxfordshire Sports Online page to find out more about our past episodes. You can get involved as we evolve. Radars or solid hit numbers, we will say no more. But there are sponsorship and advertising opportunities available, but not to the detriment of the broadcast. Plus, find us a professional outfit willing to look and put out new talent on air, and we will find you some chicken's teeth. We could go on and on about the opportunities of Oxfordshire Sports Online, but we won't for now. So you can contact us on aself.prod@ymail.com or direct message us at Oxford_sports on Twitter, or even call us on 0771 910 888. You could also like our Facebook page. It's a very good way of finding out what is coming up next. So sit back and enjoy Oxfordshire Sports Online.
Presently back in front of net, Josh Oliver steps one way and then the other. Good work by the keeper. Long is out of position, and in the end, the puck's out. It's in. This time it is in, and it's a goal for Josh Oliver. And there is the classic case in point, and the referee was Bob on the spot there because Young was down. I thought he smothered it. There came the puck, and it is Josh Oliver that turns in to an empty goal to make it 2-1. As now Oliver goes in on the net again. He steps away for one. What great work again. It's in again. Two inside a minute. And Josh Oliver, and again, Young has saved the first. The rebound comes out. He tucks it away. It's 2-2.
And the crowd goes wild in here. Everybody's up on their feet. Big cheers. That was persistent. Super skills. We keep saying it. One of the most skillful players we've seen here in Oxford, and he's done it again.
Josh Oliver now breaking forward. It's 2-on-1 situation. Plays it across, and it's into the back of the net. Brilliant stick work. It's Pentecost with the equaliser. But let's take our hats off to Josh Oliver again. He's gone down on the right-hand side.
Oxfordshire Sports Online, sponsored by Avalon National Pool Covers, the only truly independent pool cover company, installing, maintaining, servicing and cleaning all types of pool covers.
Well, back here it is Didcot lead by a goal to nil, just so that we can entertain you a bit further. There could be extra time and penalties tonight. It has to be settled tonight. But just if you're feeling a little bit put out that we may be talking about Didcot a little bit more than the Millers, here's a podcast of a game that North Leigh beat Wantage by 4-2. Well, we have enjoy a nice slurp of our coffee.
Oxfordshire Sports Online.
It's going to be North Leigh attacking down the slope, down towards the Manor House here, or Ensham Hall. And we're all set fair for the first of what is quite a few derbies with Didcot in this division as well. That is going to sort the men from the boys. Wantage having dipped their toes in the pond. Certainly will be looking to get something on what is going to be a tough night. They're going up the slope, they're kicking away to the clubhouse end. I'm Andrew Selfy, you listen to Oxbox.tv radio, but it's Oxfordshire Sports Online, and you can follow us at Oxford_sports, and this is the first of our live commentaries. Referee makes sure everybody's in place, and we're all set fair for the start of this game. Wantage, who have been a little bit unfortunate, just the 1 point from their 3 matches so far. Spoke to their managers, and they certainly were looking forward to tonight's game. Quite a healthy crowd in here, apart from the man on the far side who's got a cold. Old gag used many times. A little one in there. Sanders gets it back. Else on the ball now, cuts it back to Sanders. Sanders with 2 for company. Plays it infield. Nice little turn here. Shot goes in, but it's well wide of Farrow's left-hand post. And the first shot of the game being fired in there by Elliot Osborne-Ricketts. And lifts it forward. Good run in behind the back 4. DaCosta sees Williams. It's squared to Sanders. Sanders 22 yards out. Right foot shot. Low. Wide past Farrow's right-hand post. Far side. And that's Else cutting in. He's midway inside. He's coming in on his left peg. Has a shot from distance. And it's just turned away there. Falling away to his right-hand side by Farrow. And it's the first corner of the game. And a chance again coming forward. Good work again. Dances away from one. Jones going into the box. Fires a shot in. Now it's a save at the opposite end. What a good break in there. And Else couldn't get back. And that was great work from Jones. He cut in from this right-hand side onto his left, and this time it was Bullman at his near post that had to fall away to his left-hand side, and it's corner. It's end-to-end stuff. As the corner comes in, it's a good one. It's Gunn that heads it. Chance for Caton right across the face. The goal cleared off the line. On the far side, I think it was Barter that's hooked it away off the line. It was a loopy header. It wasn't sort of going in like a bullet. Touch by DaCosta puts Saunders in charge. He's on his left peg. It's a low shot deflected off of DaCosta, and it's gone past Farrow. It's 1-0 North Leigh. It wasn't a convincing shot. Digs the ball forward. Williams has got it behind DaCosta. Chance now to take on DaCosta again. Comes back to his left. Now Sanders on the edge of the box. And just there, it's lifted. Opened his right foot up. Lifted it over the bar. Jones tries to, loses out. Now Woodley's on the charge. McNish is up on his left-hand side. Over the halfway line, they drive forward. Out to the right goes Williams. They go left and break it in. Sanders has just got the keeper to beat. Checks inside, rolls it back to the penalty spot. Fired low, cleared off the line this time by Stedman. Back out. This time it's fired off the line again by Farrow. Really should have been 2-0 there. That was a glorious... Wantage will want the half-time whistle. This time it flicks off the head of DaCosta. Stedman will try and keep it in play far side for Wantage. Will do. They've had to weather a little bit of a storm here, but they're still sticking to their guns and coming forward and are well and truly in this football match. And they will have the luxury of going down the slope, and if they play their football, it could be a tough 45 for North Leigh, who really will have thought with the amount of corners they had and those chances at the back end of the first half here, should have gone in maybe 1 or 2 up towards the end. But I'm joined now by a man that is steeped in Oxfordshire football tradition. Stuart Peace, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Stuart, what did you make of that first 45?
I think as a game, funny enough, I arrived 5 minutes late, but for the 40 minutes I did see, it seemed to me that, as you'd expect at home, North Leigh did all the running. Lots of passing, lots of control football, lots of possession, but I didn't feel as though they were clinic in the last third of the field, so consequently they weren't hurting Wantage, but having lots of play in the midfield area, probably from 18-yard box to 18-yard box.
This is going to be slightly different, as you said. Just big Jimmy DeBill, who's somebody you know a lot of, could be the man, because it's 1-on-3 guys at the top, maybe 2 against that back 3 may cause them a little bit more of a problem.
I think it's with 3 centre halves. It looks like they're playing now. I mean, I think him down there could occupy 2 of them physically, and that then becomes a different scenario. But it's really important. They obviously want these, without stating the obvious, don't concede the next goal. They need to keep this at least 1-0 for as long as possible, and then nerves set in, and North Leigh at home not going their own way. Who knows what can happen? But it's not over yet. But I think maybe the next 15-20 minutes is going to be really important on Wantage's behalf.
Who's out looking? Corner comes in, and it's a great header by Gunn, and it's 2-0. That just what Wantage didn't want. Of North Leigh going down the slope, thrown in there quickly. The Hatch gets the ball down, lifts the ball in towards the penalty spot. DeBill's a target. What a header by Jimmy DeBill, and he's made it 2-1. And my word, that's why you have pundits like Stuart Peace. He said, get big Jimmy on, just give them something to think about, and he's buried a header from 12 yards. My word. To the centre circle on the Wantage side to Sanders. Sanders now has got Else on the charge. DaCosta comes across, checks out, shot low. Farrow goes low, palms it out. That is a penalty. My word, Farrow
I'm right down the barrel of that. I think Farrow could have stopped that. It didn't look that dangerous, but he's put it straight out into the feet of Williams. Williams has got a tap in, and what we've had is a red card because Cattell's done what comes natural, which is stop Williams turning it into an empty net. He's got a red card. It's a penalty now for North Leigh, and the spring now turns into a little bit of a look of dread on the Freds' faces. Farrow looked to have could have done a bit more for that. I'm not a goalie. It's fired across the face of goal, and his push out is right to the feet of Williams. Cattell drags him back. We are into the 18th minute. Sanders fires it in. It's 3-1. Parrish now driving forward with the football, tries to play it down the channel. It's a good ball in. Roberts can get to the dead ball line, rolls it in. It's behind the bill, coming in around the back now. It's Jones. It's 3-2. North Leigh tried to build up the great touch by Woodley, who's got away from Didcot. He breaks to the edge of the box, squares it now. Williams 17 yards out, left peg. It's 4-2. And that was made by Aaron Woodley, one of them being Callum McNish. And in the end, the referee says that is enough. And the sides will go off to a ripple of applause because they've had great entertainment here today. That's how we finished here, 4-2. A victory for North Leigh. Margie will be happy. Wanters will know that there's plenty to work on, but they also know they can compete at this level. We are back on Bank Holiday Monday. We are down at the Didcot Engineer in Loop Meadows. Well, there we are, we're back here. The sides have made their way back out. Steve just taken a slight drink of his coffee there. I would like to know why you've managed to get a nice glass cup and I had a polystyrene one. Perhaps they don't trust me, Tommy to pee and all the rest of it. If you were the North Leigh manager, any changes you would make? I don't think they need to do anything drastically. I think they played pretty well first half. I mean, if Morgan Williams isn't injured, I would bring him on. There we are. Morgan Williams is indeed on. And the replacement, I'm trying to see who it is. There is Aaron Woodley that's not made the second half. I'm looking down there. We've got Else, Westlake, Hole, and Woodley. Is it Matt Woodley? I think they've gone to a 4 at the back. They've gone to Sanders and Caton still at the top. And it looks as though Aaron Woodley has been removed. It looks like Morgan Williams is coming on. And I'm trying to see who the other substitute is. They're going for a 4-4-2, maybe 2 wide men, because Else has now gone back, so that'll be very interesting. I've now got to start scribbling like mad. Aaron Woodley's definitely not there. Williams is definitely on. And I'm trying to see who else is coming on. Is Zach Edel off? Zach Edel. I'm not sure. Yeah, he is off. I think that's... I think Edel's off, Woodley's off as well. Self clips it out near side. Second half here. Mills brings it down quite nicely. Lifts it over Else's head. And it's cleared by Westlake. And all of a sudden, Didcot have got a different formation. The 2 substitutes that are on is Bowles is going to play on the right-hand side. And on the left is going to be Williams. So they've got a more sort of conventional 4-4-2 now. The 2 people withdrawn are indeed Edel. And it is on the far side, Aaron Woodley, who I thought... he's a danger, but he's in a different way. So it'll be interesting to see now if they try and manoeuvre their midfield in such a way that they put pressure on Self, who's mopped up just inside the back 4. We wait and see. North Leigh driving forward with a throw. Thrown up there. Little layoff at the top of the park by Caton. Finds Elliot Osborne-Ricketts, who tries to turn it around the corner. Elkins clears it straight away. Good ball over the top. Mills has got a chance to get on there. Westlake's got himself in a bit of a hole. Now cutting in off this left flank is Mills. Mills with a deep cross. Haysham's there. Can't quite get there on the volley. Almost picked out beautifully there. But North Leigh still trying to come to terms with this change at the break. They've gone to a 4-4-2. Is that the answer? Well, possibly. It also spices the thing up. Both Brian Bowles and Morgan Williams had a good spells each down here, so they know Didcot very well. They probably have got a point to prove, both of them. But Morgan Williams on his night could win this game on his own. He's quick, he's very direct, but he's got a fantastic left foot on him. He's someone I think will cause Didcot problems, without doubt. Slightly different now, near side. Else the right back, just outside his own 18-yard box. Plays it to Bowles. Bowles faced by Whitehead, cuts inside of Whitehead, tries to go forward. Little clip there. Self picks up the loose ball. McNish is there as well. Little slide ball to Mills from Self. Mills now trying to take on Westlake. Goes outside. He's on his left peg. Westlake's there low. Across the face. Oh, and right through the legs of Hole. Haysham thinks he's going to put it in his own net. He completely misses it. And so does Haysham. It goes away. That should be 2. That really should be 2. Yeah, I don't quite know how that didn't go in, but somehow Mills's cross come shot
somehow evaded Hull and Pablo Haysham. I think Haysham probably assumed that Hull would get a foot on it, but he didn't.
He didn't. It went straight through his legs, and we're talking of no more than a couple of feet away from the goal line. And we are but moments into the second half in the third minute, 48 minutes on the clock now, and this is going to be lifted in on the far side. Carnell, the target, free header again by Carnell. A judge there to have fallen through the back of Westlake, and the referee says there's a free kick taken quickly by Bullman, who's drove it long. Baines on the 18-yard, on the edge of the halfway line, heads it forward, and in the end, good work by Westlake as it was flicked on there by Haysham. Back to Bullman. All of a sudden, the game a little bit more spicy. Right winger now, you could say, right midfield. Bowles plays it in behind Leroy. Good run there by Morgan Williams. Leroy gets a toe in first corner here for North Leigh in this second half, and it's opened up very, very lively, one would say, Stephen.
Yeah, I think the game's now set up, both sides going 4-4-2, and I think it's going to be same as before. I think both sides are going to be going for this.
Well, you don't get anything if you lose, do you? That's the main thing, as you say. Didcot will fancy their chances, a chance of metalware, so to speak, or a bit of a pot. A good clearance there at the near post there by Whitehead, and then Baines. Baines up to Mills. Mills is fouled by Osborne Ricketts, and I don't think we had a card in the first half, did we?
No, I think he's refereed very well. I don't think anything I've seen so far merits a card.
There was just the one that looked worse than it was.
Yeah.
When Else dived into Leroy. Leroy, though, plays his free kick to Organ. Organ 4 yards shy of the halfway line. Little ball inside to Self. Self with a chance to play it out. Lost out there, caught late by Sanders. And the referee sort of says that's a free kick. Sanders says not. Self picks himself up and a free kick is taken quickly. Great crossfield ball by Baines. Finds the chest there on the far side of Elkins, who loves to get forward. The only scorer today. Back it goes to Baines. Baines midway inside the North Leigh half. Plays it out to the right back for Didcot. Elkins lays it in. Headed away by Hull. Easy pick up. Nicely picked up as well. And just not long by Woodley. Matty Woodley now. Just the one on now. Aaron substituted at half time. Long ball through the centre of the Didcot defence, and Leroy heads it back to Foster, and Foster bowls it out straight away to Baines. Baines playing right of the central two now, tries to split up to Dutton Black. Bit too long, bit too hard, can't control. Matty Woodley, the left back, pings the ball forward. And in the end, Didcot try and pick up the loose ball, and they do. Haysham got himself into a little pocket of hole now, bearing down on the centre half. Little ball through to Mills. Mills with a chance to take it on, goes past the keeper, rolls it into the back. Mills scores again. Stepped away from Westlake, stepped away from Bullman, and finishes for the second goal on the night. And I bet his 77th goal of the season, I think, Steve, isn't it?
Not quite. That's his 20th, but what a great run through from Pablo Haysham.
It was a great run. You know, it's coming to 50th minute. I know you're looking to see what the time is. He's taken a pass from Haysham. He's taken a lovely ball round the keeper. And Mills, you just fancied him. He's done a few lollipops in the first half, but this time he'd just done the right ones. Took it away from Westlake, took it away from Bullman, and popped it in the back of the net.
I think when you're playing with as much confidence as John Mills at the minute, every time he steps on the pitch, you expect him to score. I think the other thing, I've mentioned a few players tonight that have played for Didcot. They've gone to North Leigh. Obviously, John Mills came from North Leigh to Didcot, so there was that added probably spring in his step tonight anyway. He probably wanted to prove
Yeah, we're back here. Sorry about that little temporary trip of the system down here. Steve, we were just talking, Mills has made it 2-0 to Didcot on the night. Fine goal.
Yeah, it's a fantastic finish. And as I said, I think he came tonight playing against his old club. I think he probably wanted nothing more than to score. And that was a really good finish and just about sums up his play at the moment. It's fantastic.
Again, Sanders folds Selfy, finds Haysham with the free kick. Chance on this near side. Whitehead just keeping a beat right across the face. Mills makes his 3 flag up on the far side. But a great bit of play there again. Self was fouled by Sanders, took the free kick quickly, found Haysham. Haysham found Whitehead. Whitehead drilled it across the face of goal. Mills tapped it in, flag up far side. Still remains Didcot Town 0. North Leigh, Didcot Town 2, North Leigh 0. Self does well to clip the ball away again under a lot of pressure. Sanders realising that he's got a lot of time and space just in that little pocket in front of the back four of Didcot. As Baines now lifts the ball out far side. But it's all getting a little... Sanders really is taking the game to Didcot, but he's trying to do it all on his own at the moment. A little ball over the top again, cut away this time by Holt. Good strong header there above Elliot Osborne-Ricketts by himself, but North Leigh and Sanders now getting incredibly deep to try and get involved with the football, isn't he?
He's having to, isn't he? He's dropping deeper and deeper, but he's a fantastic... I've said it a few times tonight. I really am impressed by that Sanders. I think he's a wonderful footballer.
For Didcot, you'd like to try and sign him, no doubt. But nice to say. Nice to say. Right. Far side. Hold Bills again for North Leigh. I shouldn't say that. Sounds like tapping up. Matty Woodley goes long. Carnell cushions a header back towards his own goalkeeper, Foster, who takes it. It is really now at the top of the park. Sanders has been given a free roll because it looks like it's Caton and Morgan Williams at the top of the park. Didcot clear their lines. Haysham tries to spin away from Westlake. Just keep the ball in play. Yes, he does. And in the end, Else runs into Haysham, and that's not the strongest challenge, but you know what it's like, a little bit of a touch. Else has gone down, free kick to North Leigh. Can North Leigh get back into the game? They've looked susceptible at the back throughout this game from the first to the last. They play nice football, but when it gets towards their 18-yard box, they do just look a little bit susceptible.
They have a bit tonight, haven't they? They've looked a little bit... I wouldn't say they've been outdone by pace, but they look a little bit stretched, and it's quite often a fairly simple ball over the top or something that seems to unhinge them.
It's the movement. I think the movement, actually, when you see... I know it's a straightforward move for your forwards, one to come short and one to go long. But, you've got to say Mills and Haysham are doing it very, very well. Yeah. And that sort of movement is really causing problems. You've got self-picking passes, just rolling it through to the one that comes short. They spin. They've got width with Whitehead and Dutton Black. And it just seems to be causing the back four of North Leigh, or the back three in the first half, a little bit of a problem. But still the game is alive. North Leigh trail by 2-0 in this Red Insure Cup. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online. Ball into the box. Good chance. Good header away there by Carnell before Morgan Williams gets there, but a flag has gone up. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online. You can now listen via our website. All the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk. And indeed, you can also follow us on oxbox.tv's radio player. Ball up to the top there. Doesn't find Haysham or Mills from Self, and North Leigh will pick it up on the halfway line. Follow us on Twitter at Oxford_Sports. We are back on air on Sunday at 6 o'clock for a 6:15 face-off as Oxford City Stars take on the MK Thunder. And again, they really will be looking to do well in. Had a few injuries and a few players missing last week, and they've got a new import, and it was Mikael Tomasek who came on and really did endear himself to his teammates. Having a little bit of fisticuffs. Not that he likes fisticuffs. His ice hockey does the talking. But he stood up to the very rough and ready Mr. Cornish of Wailing Raiders. But Didcot working the ball really well. Again, down his left-hand side. Mills, scorer of one of the goals, gets the ball to Dutton Black. Dutton Black takes his time, finds Self. Self will open his body out and go to the right back. And goal scorer of the first goal, Elkins. Elkins lifts the ball in. Mills has got time and space. He sweeps it in from the penalty spot. And I've got to say that the centre forward there, Mills, has absolutely swept it in. It's a really, really sweet goal. And you've got Else and you've got the centre half for North Leigh looking around because he's run in there. You're expecting the flag to go up. He's timed his run well and swept it in with his right boot. 2 for him on the night, 3 for Didcot.
It was a fantastic finish again by Mills, and let's not forget that. But you're looking for the flag to go up because the North Leigh defence just stood there. The goalkeeper and the centre-back were just looking at each other as if to say, well, who's going to deal with this? But great ball in from Elkins from the right. And Mills, he didn't even think about taking a touch, did he? We've criticised him perhaps for over-egging it tonight and taking too many touches, but there was only one place that was going to finish.
It was a really, really sweet finish. And the scoreline's sort of suggesting, in a way, one side that is very, very buoyant with their league form, unbeaten in 8, and one side that has got all the ability in their ranks, but it's not quite clicking. You know, North Leigh, they're just sort of trying to find out what's missing, the missing ingredient, certainly in this game and certainly in the league. Long crossfield ball goes over the head of Elkins, and Williams now with a chance to cross it down at the Sainsbury's end and flicked away off the head there of Carnell. Organ knocks it forward to Whitehead. Whitehead dead centre of his own half, 5 or 6 yards in from this left touchline, trying to take on Else. Rolls it in just in behind Haysham. Haysham would just run inside, but it's tied up by Hull. But all of a sudden, the Didcot faithful around us certainly enjoying what the Railway men are doing again. Now, the man that's trying to pull the strings, the quarterback for North Leigh, is the man that has impressed you the most, Kieran Sanders. He's quite deep now. He's now going to try and find the legs of Bowles, the legs of Williams. Elliot Osborne-Ricketts now trying to get involved in places, but all of a sudden it just looks as though it could be Didcot's game, and they're just forcing North Leigh to play football in their final third a bit too much, Steve.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've almost skirted over the goal that was disallowed, which actually can't have been very much offside at all. It was very, very close. So Didcot, in the first 10 or so minutes of this second half, could have had 3 goals.
They could indeed. North Leigh changed their formation from their favoured 3-5-2. And they are missing a few players that are playing in sort of comeback trail, so to speak. Long ball up. Caton out-jumped by Leroy. Ball just slides off the forehead, and Carnell waits for it to bounce and heads it back to keeper Foster. But it has been pretty impressive. North Leigh came out of blocks rapidly in the first few moments of the game. But Didcot have just settled down into their rhythm. They're playing their football, which has seen them move up to 3rd place in Division 1 South and West. And, there's a long way to go. You get no medals, no prizes at this stage of the season. But what you can do is take a terrific boost with that form and go into the winter months sort of well-equipped. Yeah,
I think it sets Didcot up for a good middle part of the season. But again, a goal here for North Leigh could possibly change tonight, because there's enough quality on the pitch for North Leigh at the moment to score 3 goals in 35 minutes. So... no complacency.
I think you're absolutely right. From a Didcot perspective, they'll want to keep that duck egg there against their name. But for North Leigh, they'll be looking, but you can just see them striving to try and find now what could almost be a Hollywood ball. They're trying to play from deep. They're trying to spring Didcot, who in fairness have played their game, and they've played their game that they play every Saturday at the moment. So they're not being knocked out of their stride too much. And they'll just try and build again. And it's with Baines. Baines finds Leroy. Leroy comes near side to Organ. Organ inside. First time ball for Self. Self tries to go around the corner, and it's taken away off him by Ricketts. And now it's Caton that's going forward. But Self does exceptionally well and gets himself back. And in the end, Elliot Osborne-Ricketts has gone late on Leroy again. But Self lost it, but won it back. But then Leroy dived into a challenge with Elliot Osborne-Ricketts, who again is having a little chat with the referee, but I think the referee's got to keep his cards in his pocket and just say, calm it down a bit. Leroy's up quite sprightly. But I think that if you're a North Leigh manager over there, Mark G, who I know very well, Pete King and all the people around there, and a terrific club, they must be wondering where their next result is coming from, because just at the moment they've got an abundance of talent, but it isn't clicking. They're looking for that catalyst, aren't they?
I mean, football's a bit like that. And as we said before the game started, there's a lot to be said for confidence and how it affects. Players aren't all of a sudden have more ability, but they play in a different frame of mind. I think at the moment, North Leigh, certainly when they went 2-0 down, you could say their heads dropped a little bit, but they're not all of a sudden, no one's suggesting it, they're a bad side. They're certainly capable of getting back into this and having a good run themselves in the next few weeks. The other thing I think is worth mentioning is the strength in depth for North Leigh. If you think Andy Gunn's not a part of this team tonight and Jamie Cook's not part of this team, well, they're 2 fantastic players at this level. And they'd walk into any other side, I'd imagine, in the league. So
they have a terrific squad. Hopkin, who's the other wing back that's been playing as well. I say Connor Ingram, who's struck up a good partnership as Mills goes up for this on the edge of the box. Hull picks it up, prays it now to the new left back. Matty Woodley has gone off. He's replaced by Bird at the top of the park, who's played top flight football, I believe, or played certainly a high level of Scottish football. as Didcot try and build from the back. Self turns it out far side. Maybe a little bit dangerous to play the football there. Williams goes into Sanders. Sanders inside the box. Little layoff now. Here's a chance. Chance goes in. It's fired in. It's gone into the back of the net. No sooner than you say it, Bowles fires it in. Didcot played football in the wrong part of the pitch there. It was played out to Self, who was facing his own goal on the edge of the 18. He turned it out onto the right-hand side. Player was beaten to the ball on the far side, and before you know it, it came to Bowles, and Bowles fired it in, fire a ricochet past Foster into the bottom corner. They are back in it, as you would say.
As I said, goal now, and it becomes very interesting. And this will be a test. We'll see how Didcot cope with that, because now there's 2 goals in it. You wouldn't be at all surprised to see North Leigh benefit from that goal, and they could be on the ascendancy for the next 10 minutes. We'll see what happens here. They're on the break again.
All of a sudden, they've just decided to play football in the wrong sort of areas. Now they need that calm head. They need somebody just to put their foot on the football, as Sanders tries to take the ball right on the edge of the box for North Leigh. Back out it goes. Low shot fired in. Pulled away. Going away to his left-hand side there by Foster. Good save there. And a shot coming from Elliot Osborne-Ricketts. But again, Ben Whitehead doesn't tidy up. And on this near side, goal scorer Bowles for North Leigh rolls it back to the halfway line. Coming forward now, striding forward. Hole, the centre half, clips it out to the left side. Caton, the man that's been up top, now left back. With a chance to measure across into the Didcot box. Does. Flicked header away at the back post by Organ. Quite nice. And Whitehead with a chance to drive forward. Didcot with 2 goals and 1 disallowed at the start of this second half. Went 3 up, but they've just started to get themselves caught. But in fairness, look at the attacking prowess that North Leigh have thrown onto the pitch now. Bowles is on the field of play. Bird is on the field of play. You've got plenty on there as the shots drive forward. And in the end, it's just come away. What have we got there? I can't see what the referee's doing.
He's given handball.
He's given handball on Adam Leroy. And in fairness, that looked a bit of a tough call.
Well, it wasn't a handball. It was in the middle of his chest, and the Didcot players looked absolutely astounded by that decision. Thankfully, it's not in the box, so it's not a penalty, but...
dangerous enough, though, is it? Because Morgan Williams,
yep,
the man who you thought was enough to win this game on his own, will be standing over a free kick as Foster looks out of his goal, just to the left of centre. It's about 19 yards out. Standing over it as well is Stuart Holt. He's a bit of a Lorimer special, and... Williams will be a bit of a clip and lift. The wall there.
I think Morgan will take this.
Morgan Williams is the man to take it.
Goal.
Kills it. It's a goal. Top corner. It's 3-2. And from nowhere, absolutely nowhere, it is now 3-2. And it's game on in the Red Insure Cup. You said there'd be goals. But that really was a sweetly struck free kick. North Leigh have pulled themselves out of nowhere back into the game.
Well, they were a bit lucky to get the free kick in the first place, but I could have called that before he took it. I've seen Morgan Williams score countless free kicks for Didcot, and I also knew which corner going. Unfortunately, James Foster wasn't playing there when he used to play for Didcot, but I could have called that.
There's a substitution. It looks like Mr. Baines is going off to be replaced by Clark. But all of a sudden, I just felt there, though, just as that first goal came, that North Leigh decided, and Mark G popped off the bench and called his side forward. Push on them, get on them, shut them down. And they did shut them down in the final third. And all of a sudden, a little bit of a rain check, excuse the pun with the weather today, and Didcot from 3 up, and now at 3-2. And the tails are well and truly up for the Millers. They are certainly enjoying themselves now. Little purple patch there. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Changes the complexion of this game altogether. Haysham and McNish battle away in the centre circle on the North Leigh side. But all of a sudden, it's just bombing shirts forward. The little wasps, the yellow and black of the Millers driving forward, and they're right back in this game. Steve Clare alongside me on the board here for Didcot. Knows exactly what can be done in a game, and he called it absolutely spot on. Leroy lifts it out near side. Organ, halfway line. Didcot goes forward. Come to meet him is Else. Goes inside to Haysham. Haysham runs into McNish, who robs him, but the loose ball is picked up quite quickly by Organ. Organ finds Self. Self finds Clark. Clark driving forward, 24 yards from goal. Little layoff there to Dutton Black. Comes back to Clark. Just bounced horribly. He's managed to clear the goal, the net behind it, into the trees and past Telly-Tubby Hill, Steve.
I think that just hit Tinky Winky on the head. I think that's gone miles. But fair play to Clarkey there. He's come on. Good 1-2. And he had a go. I think Didcot just need to calm it down for a couple of minutes and not panic, because there is a chance here that North Leigh could really... you barely say it, because it was 3-0 only about 5 minutes ago. You could see North Leigh going on and winning this.
Well, unfortunately, you have been a commentator's curse today, if I can be honest with you. You said, they're not out of this whatsoever. I felt their heads were down. But all of a sudden, everything that Didcot were making look so easy is starting to look very, very difficult. You know, they're finding their feet on North Leigh and they're driving forward. Caton coming forward now from left back, faced by Clark, galloping into Didcot's territory. North Leigh now well and truly back in this game, and for, I've got to say, 63 minutes, really didn't look like a side that could muster a terrific shot on target, even though the strength of their squad on the bench and on the pitch was good enough. McNish now shot from 20 yards, blocked by Carnell. Squirts out to Else. Else into the feet there of Bowles. Back to Else. Else little 1-2 into the box, fires it low. Good saving challenge by Leroy. Still Else is in there. He tumbles to the floor under a little bit of contact from Whitehead, but it's cleared by Didcot. Stabbed forward by Westlake. Should go out of play, but they need a head now just to put their foot on the ball and get it wide to Didcot. And North Leigh just need to keep driving forward, because all of a sudden it's nervous times in the Railway men's back line.
Well, if you had to pick a winner at the minute, or at least the next goal scorer, you'd say North Leigh are going to get the next goal, because they're the ones with the spring in the step.
I will be telling everybody in the Didcot club afterwards just how the prophecy of doom you have been.
Oh, please don't.
You have been the commentator's curse in a very big way if you're a Didcot fan. If you're a North Leigh fan, they want you to say more. So I'm going to leave you with the cans on in a minute. I just want to see a good game, of which I'm seeing. Leroy, towering header there above Bird, and offside to onside for a North Leigh centre forward. Didcot just need to regain a little bit of composure. It's a big one now, though, isn't it? Because at 3-2, if North Leigh concede, you may just see them go, just collapse in a little bit of a heap. And if if it goes the other way, if North Leigh equalise, you could see themselves say the same about the Railway men, couldn't you?
You could. I mean, it's a fascinating game, and it's really well set up for the last quarter of the game.
The long ball out, headed on. Elliot Osborne-Ricketts hooks it away all the way through. Foster will let this run into his penalty area. In the end, doesn't quite get there. He's put under a lot of pressure. He manages to put it far side. Elkins slips in clearing it, finds Williams. Williams finds Sanders. Sanders from difference. And I tell you what, in the end, Foster going back to his own goal. Got enough on it, but tipped it onto the top of his own crossbar. And that is how the margin's there. Elkins slipped. And before you know it, North Leigh have driven it forward with Sanders, and Foster has just tipped it onto his own crossbar.
What a shot that was. I bet he's 30, 35 yards out. He's seen Foster off his line. He couldn't have hit it better, and to be fair to Foster, he's got his hand to it, but it only just crept onto the bar and away for a corner.
I saw Kieran Sanders score against Totten from fully 40 yards. Dipping volley, got a lot of skill in there, lifts it near post, flicked header by Hull, right across the face, headed off the line by Self, headed back in again this time by Westlake, straight at Foster, but this is turning into a really hair-and-scaring performance from Didcot. And North Leigh are driving everything. Will they leave holes? Will they leave holes? Now bearing away up on the far side again. Didcot break forward. Excellent feet there by the fullback Elkins. He's turned round. He finds Dutton Black, who goes back to Clark. Clark down the right channel to Mills. Mills with two for company. Lays it back in. The run hasn't been continued by Elkins. Easy turn away for Bowles for North Leigh up to the halfway line, where Sanders tries to turn away from Carnell. Long ball through into the channel. Foster has to go out of his goal away to my right-hand side and clears it. Still North Leigh trying to go forward. Self this time puts his foot on the football. Finds Clark. Clark turns it out on the far side of Elkins. Elkins down the channel, but it's more in sort of clearing mode than finding a man. Self wins a header back from whence it came. Oh, Hole's made a terrible mistake there. Haysham's on the football. Rolls it back there to Clark. Clark feeds it back far side. Dutton Black midway inside the North Leigh half. Coming in from that right touchline. Tries to take on Hull. Runs into Hull. Still Clark picks it up for Didcot and drives forward. Level the 18-yard box. Plays it infield now to Dutton Black. Dutton Black will go to Self. Self now under pressure here from Williams. He'll go back to the right back Elkins, who's hugging that touchline. Down the channel it goes again. Now there's a chance for Dutton Black to spin. Can he get it in field? He does. He finds Clark. Apex of the North Leigh box. He's on his left peg. Curls it high and over the bar. You were going to say there, young man?
Well, I like the fact that Didcot had a couple of minutes on the ball there. But the other thing, maybe I missed it, but I noticed that Michael Bird's on the pitch.
Yeah, I did call that, yeah.
Was that before? I shouldn't be asking this, but was that before the goal?
Michael Bird came on. I haven't actually written it down on mine, but it was before the Williams goal. Right. I'm pretty sure it was...
he looks a handful, doesn't he? I've never seen him play before. He must be, well, he's a couple of inches shorter than Carnell, but that's not saying a lot.
Played a very high level of football, I believe, north of the border. Stuart Hole is stretching out his hamstring. Elliot Osborne Records is having a word. But he has been around. I believe he's been at Aberdeen, of all places. So he certainly played his football. But it's all about now for the two sides, there's no two ways about it. It is about North Leigh they can now believe for 63 minutes. They look to me a slightly desperate outfit.
Yeah.
But they got themselves back into it, and now they look like the side that could, as you say, go on to get an equaliser. Long ball up, Bird's beaten in the air by Leroy. Clark tries to bring it down, almost runs into trouble, does run into trouble, but he gets a free kick. Sanders a little bit too strong on him. Free kick now to Didcot, midway inside their own half. Didcot just need... I saw North Leigh against Tottenham. They were 2 up and cruising. Gave away a penalty, then... they had a man sent off, and then they were all over the place. And they were desperate for an old head. And as it was, the central midfielder, long ball over the top, doesn't get to Sanders, eludes everybody, goes through to Foster. As it was, there was an injury to a central midfielder for Tottenham, and that allowed the old heads on the bench to try and calm down North Leigh, because they were just going a little bit headless. A couple of players were chucking in decent challenges. Oh, and in the end, there's a strong challenge there from Hull on Mills. I thought it was a strong challenge. I didn't think it was over the top, but the players are reacting as though he's sort of taken man and ball there. But Jay Mills is down. He will get up. What do you think?
I don't think he got the ball. It was. I don't think he intended to hurt him, but he was late. I hope John Mills isn't badly hurt there. I don't think he is, but he's rolling about a little bit. But what I would say, I don't think the referee was sure, because he was looking for help from the referee's assistant. He wasn't totally sure what he'd seen, I don't think. But it was late.
It was late. He seemed to have got there, but I think Hull was just committed to the challenge. But we wait to see. Certainly Mills, who's bagged a couple tonight. Let's just tell you, 17 minutes. Carnell header from 3 yards from a corner. Brilliantly saved by Bullman. Came straight out to the edge of the box. Elkins put it in. 1-0 it was to Didcot to the break. Early on in the second half. A beautiful run by Heysham fan Mills. Mills swept it in for 2-0. In between that, there had been a disallowed goal after a sweet ball across the face of goal by Whitehead was turned in by Mills, but ruled offside. Then on 56, Mills swept in an Elkins cross for 3-0, and it looked as though the game was up. Steve Clare, the esteemed man alongside me, put the Didcot curse on North Leigh and said, oh, they're never out of this, and surely enough they won't. Bowles deflected a goal in after Didcot were caught in possession with the ball deep in their own territory. On 63 and on 65, Morgan Williams, the man that Steve did say could win this game on his own, put a free kick in from 19 yards after a very debatable free kick was given against Didcot. Doesn't matter. That's the score. Didcot 3, North Leigh 2. You're listening to the Red Insure Cup on Oxfordshire Sports Online, and you can listen via our website, all the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk, and indeed via oxbox.tv's radio player. Follow us on Twitter at Oxford_sports. There's a free kick here. We're into the 30th minute of the second half. Didcot attacking the goal away to my left. It's lifted in, and it's a low shot. Bounces, and keeper spills. Carnell gets there. Keeper gets there second time. But a routine save there by Bullman turned into a little harum-scarum moment. And Bullman for North Leigh comes out to the edge of the box, and he'll be looking to knock it long. Millsy makes his way onto the pitch, which is good for the Railwaymen's faithful here. Good tackle there by Self. Gets the ball to Clark. Clark pulled back by McNish. And that's, in a way, if you're a Didcot manager, you'll be looking for that now. Just break up the play, stop any momentum gained by the Millers, because the Millers have certainly got their tails up.
Yeah, they have. I mean, Didcot have actually weathered a bit of a storm here for the last few minutes, but...
Ryan Brooks is about to come on for Mills. Mills not happy. Not happy at all, but I can understand the manager's situation. John Mills, he doesn't want to go off, does he?
No, he doesn't want to come off because he sees another match ball. Not that he'd ever get one from Didcot, but he sees another hat-trick, and that's what strikers do. But if we can get Ryan Brooks fit, and he's got 15 minutes now to hopefully assist his recovery from his hamstring problems from earlier in the season, I think this is a really good move, actually.
It certainly gives him a bit of game time. Different type of player altogether. Ryan Brooks scored a shed load of goals for Ardley last season. Comes on. Obviously, these boys play in certain circles. They know each other. Brooks is a bit more direct. Maybe not so cute, but certainly knows where the back of the net is. It's still Didcot 3, North Leigh 2. Red Insure Cup live from Oxfordshire Sports Online. Good ball out on this near side. Else heads it across the face of his own 18. Left back now. Caton tries to clear itself, tries to volley it forward, but he's skewed it out far side. It's picked up by Williams. Williams outpaces Elkins on the far side. Didcot are trying to get back as the yellow shirts swarm in there. Chance inside the box. Good clearance by Self. Comes out. Drilled against Self on the floor. He's got back in the tone for his error there. Excellent play by the youngster. Just slipped off his foot as he tried to volley it. Now it's Didcot breaking forward. Ball in behind the... No, I have got to disagree with the linesman there. Ryan Brooks' run was perfect as far as I'm concerned. When he picked the ball up, he was offside, and I think the linesman on the far side has got something in his eye there, Steve.
Yeah, it wasn't offside. I mean, you and me aren't directly in line with it, but you could tell Ryan Brooks' run was perfect.
It was perfect. He knows how to run that, and everybody knew how to play that ball. And you just knew that the linesman was only going to see it when it arrived at the striker's feet. But we're back in play, and that's not us being biased. That's just us saying as it is. They're a very talented linesman on the far side who got a decision wrong. Well, you have to butter him up a bit.
It's easy for me, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. You know, if you're a linesman on the far side with just the one job to do all night and you do it wrong, then you're going to get told
I'm
off.
sure he's a better football pundit than me, so there we go.
Not if he waves his flag like that, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't even last 5 minutes. You've filled that seat excellently this evening. Game's back on. It's still Didcot 3, North Leigh 2. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online. We'll go to extra time and penalties if North Leigh should get an equaliser. But obviously, if you win in 90 minutes, it's all over in 90. Foster goes long. Target is Haysham. Haysham goes up. Good header away by Hull. Williams heads it on. Carnell stabs it to Self on the halfway line. Facing his old goal, turns it round the corner, and he finds the left back, Caton. All of a sudden, again, Didcot giving away the ball because they're put under pressure. Headed away there by Carnell, and he finds Bowles, though, for North Leigh, who finds Sanders. Sanders finds Bowles again, just outside the box. Little step over on his left peg, doesn't like it. Squares it to Sanders. Sanders 19 yards out, wants to get on his right, does get on his right, fires it in. It's 3 apiece. What a goal by Kieran Sanders. And from 3 down, it's 3 apiece. And that was a fine strike there by Kieran Sanders on 77 minutes. He just stepped away under his right peg and rifled it into the corner. And all of a sudden, who's your money on now, Stephen?
I'm saying nothing, but what a brilliant goal. I mean, we called it before the game, there's going to be goals in this, but that was as good as you'll see anywhere. 25 yards out, hardly any back lift at all. I couldn't blame the Didcot defence there. They really didn't do much wrong. You couldn't blame the keeper. Just a brilliant execution from a really, really good player.
What has surprised me here, now's a chance. Haysham tries to play to Brooks. Brooks coming in on his right peg, fires it low. Good take by the keeper this time. What you can say is that Andy Sinnott, Ian Concannon and Jamie Heapy will be looking for an old head to try and calm things down, because what North Leigh have done is they've pressed on to Didcot, shut down the space they've had to play football, and suddenly the passes become ragged. And that is what's allowed them to give the ball away and therefore turn over possession for the Millers. And the Millers have profited wonderful. Now 3 goals in 14 minutes. The last from Sanders being the pick of the bunch, in fairness, and the free kick was pretty sweet. But again, you see the ball is just headed away. Nobody's picking it up. Second ball all being won by North Leigh now. They've come back from 3 down to 3 each. And these last few moments are going to be pretty tense. The manager will want to try and get himself out there and do something, surely. Jamie Heapy is on the bench, but maybe not the right decision to make at this time to bring on a defender.
Possibly not. I mean, Jamie's got a voice on him. He's a leader of the team. He's been skipper here. He's not skipper at the moment. He's been skipper for many, many years before he became joint manager. So he's someone that you could bring on to calm things down a bit. But I think, again, you've got to give Mark G some credit tonight, because you called it. You saw him stand up and actually send some instruction out there. At 3-0 down, they were out of it. Well, whatever he said's done wonders.
Osborne Ricketts is just alongside Bowles, has just dispossessed Self. McNish is in, low shot saved there by Foster. Self got the ball, there was no movement in front of him, and that's the worst thing for a midfielder, because I tell you, the yellow shirts are playing as though they've only just gone on the field of play. They seem to have absolute bags of energy, where Didcot, under this onslaught, just seem to be finding themselves going backwards. Ball in behind Caton on the far side. Haysham gets down there. Caton slides in. That'll be a throw to Didcot, 7 or 8 yards away from the corner flag, defended by the left back of the goal on the far side. Next goal is so crucial. So crucial for both sides this late on the game. Brooks tries to stab it in, doesn't find Whitehead. Hull sees the man on the near side, Elsh, find Bowles. Bowles now faced by Organ. Rolls it infield to McNish. McNish and Osborne Ricketts now with a bit of space in front of their back forward to play it out far side to the left back, Caton. Caton now tries to lift it down the channel. Bursts the target. Carnell will head it. He makes a horrible effort there off his shoulder. And in the end, Foster has to just hook it away for a throw to North Leigh. And that's sort of indicative. Things that were simple in the first half are now becoming very difficult.
I mean, you did say who do I call it now? I think North Leigh have got the spring in their step. Not surprisingly, they come back from 3-0, but the little mistakes seem to be coming from Didcot in a minute, and I think they'll be happy if they get to extra time at the moment out of the two teams.
No side really will want extra time, because there's lucrative ties coming up on Saturday in the trophy, as the ball's played forward, blocked by Self, corner to North Leigh. And it's been 5 corners in the first half to Didcot, none to North Leigh. Second half, 3 corners to North Leigh, none to Didcot. And that's doesn't really tell the tale of the tape, because up to 63 minutes, North Leigh was struggling.
Yeah.
Now, since then, it's been North Leigh, and more North Leigh. So he's swung in here, lifted in. It's high by Sanders. Target is Leroy, who heads it away. Edge of the box, McNish runs in to Clark. Clark gets a toe on it. It's cleared along by Organ. But again, the loose ball is picked up by Osborne Ricketts just inside the half of Didcot. He turns it back to Bowles. And Didcot will now have to set themselves. As on this near side, Else tries to take on Whitehead on the overlap. Going round the outside is Callum McNish. McNish will get there. Faced by Organ. Drills it into the near post. Easy take by Foster. Didcot try and build there. Bowled out to Dutton Black. Dutton Black got a chance to take on Caton. Far side. Caton for North Leigh. Dutton Black for Didcot. He cuts inside there. Just shows too much. Caton gets there. Dutton Black doesn't give up. What a superb challenge that is. Loose ball now breaks to Haysham. Haysham edge of the box. Going on to his right peg. Fires it wide of the goal there. And that looked as though that was going to nestle in the top corner. Bullman was there. It's gone wide. And it just goes to show you how topsy-turvy, in and out, back to front and upside down this game could be. Another substitute now coming. Jack South will be replaced by, it looks like Jamie Heap is coming on. It's Jack Longford. It looks, you've heard that. Some of the locals not too happy with that change, but it looks like Jack Longford coming on for Jack South. Is that right?
It looks like Jack Longford. Jack South's done nothing wrong tonight, but I suspect the management are looking at other things than this weekend, and Jack's a young lad. You don't want him to get injured in extra time. I think, again, it's not a terrible decision at all. I know fans don't always see it, but I don't think that's such a bad move.
Well, as I say, as a father of the boy that's just come off, you want to see. I don't get to see him play very often, so I wouldn't mind 120 minutes. But there again, I've seen him for the best part of 83 minutes, but North Leigh try and drive forward. Flag has gone up on the near side. It's going to be a difficult game for Jack Longford to try and settle into now. It looks like they're going to try and rearrange things with Matt Clark taking over the holding. Well, no, he's not. He's jogging forward. No, I don't really know what the premise is. Maybe the height of Jack Longford. Non-ball knocked up there by Elkins. Else with an easy header away by North Leigh. Leroy halfway line. Again, a little bit narrow for North Leigh at the moment. Played down the left-hand side. Whitehead can't gather. That'll go away for a throw to North Leigh. This could be a tough evening for both sides. And they're going to be playing, by the looks of it, somewhere in the region of 120 minutes before they can decide who's going through to the second round of the Red Insure Cup. But we've had a corker, 6 goals already. Goals all the way through. North Leigh driving forward, though, here with Osborne Ricketts. Trying to play it out. Plays it out, indeed, straight out of play. But nobody really settling. A little bit frenetic, the play on both sides. North Leigh were trailing by 3 goals still up to the 63rd minute, and could have been a shade lucky not to be 4 down with an offside goal going against them, but they've clawed themselves back into it, and now they look as though the side that has been bossing the game for the whole 90 minutes. Leroy clears it up to the halfway line. Westlake beats Brooks and then heads it forward again. Leroy goes up there with Sanders. Loose ball breaks to Else. Else finds Sanders, the scorer of the 3rd goal. Steps outside his man Longford, but rolls it back to Bowles. Bowles playing almost like a conventional right back now, scorer of the 1st goal. Driving forward through the heart of Didcot. Plays it to Else. Else on the apex of the box is robbed by Leroy. Loose ball breaks to McNish. McNish curls it in. Free header coming in the back by Williams, who found himself in acres of space. I don't know if there's a flag up.
I think he was given us offside, but he couldn't have been much in it, and it was a free header if he'd actually met it at the far post. I don't think there's much Foster would have done about it, so...
Well, both sides have played their full complement of substitutes. The 12 or the 22 out there for both sides. They are there for the duration now on what is a warm, if a little bit damp night. Not too much rain falling, but moisture hanging in the air there. North Leigh driving forward, having come back from 3 down. Lifted forward by Caton, headed away by Carnell. And Osborne Ricketts doesn't get there. Good work by Haysham to tow it out on the far side. Dutton Black's tight on that touchline. Great work there by Haysham to step away from the sliding Caton up to the halfway line. Give and go with Longford. Longford's touch is a bit loose. And in the end, Elkins has got nothing to do but give it to Sanders. And Sanders will drive North Leigh forward again. Sanders tries to roll it through. Carnell will pick it up and square it out to his left back, Organ. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online, bringing you Red Insure Cup football, where Didcot led by 3-0. They're pegged back here by 3 goals. It's 3 apiece with North Leigh here at the Didcot Engineering Loop Meadow Stadium. And mistakes now coming across there. Longford struggling to keep the ball at all. Robbed by Elliot Osborne-Ricketts, and a ball through the centre. Bird tries to run on, but the sweeping is done by the Didcot keeper, Foster. Headed up in the air again. The ball won't settle down. As I said, you listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online. You can listen via the Oxbox.tv's radio player. We're supported here by Gavin Hart and Richard Kibbe of Oxbox. Little layoff there by Haysham. Brooks can't return the favour as the ball runs through. You can follow us on Twitter at Oxford_Sports. And indeed, you can listen on our website. All the W's, oxfordsportsonline.co.uk. A rebroadcast will be posted there tomorrow of this whole evening's entertainment, including the best part of the night where we were off for a power cut for some 2 minutes. It was enjoyable, wasn't it?
Well, there's some irony there, the fact we're about 500 yards from a huge power station, but there we go.
Oh, it's only half it now, though, isn't it? Ball up to the edge of the box. Bird tries to spin Carnell, plays it near side. Sanders finding a lot of holes now, trying to take on Organ, goes outside Organ rather easily, plays it against Whitehead, that should go away, and it looks to me as though that is going to be a throw deep in Didcot territory. Sanders throws it back to Else. Else tries to take on Whitehead. Whitehead sticks to his guns in the corner, and I'm trying to look past. It looks like that's going to go for a goal kick. We are into the 43rd minute. 2 minutes before we head towards extra time. Have they stemmed the tide?
I'm not. Again, you keep pressing me on this. You've said a few times now I'm the curse, so I don't really know what to say.
I only said that they stemmed the tide. I didn't say whether they'd win, lose or draw.
Well, no, the game's calmed down a bit. I think both sides are probably not wanting to make a mistake, and I think that sometimes does calm things down a bit. But I wouldn't like to say there's not another goal in normal time yet, because actually we know
you've pushed yourself into that very precarious position. I kept you out of it. I said, had they stemmed the tide, then you've gone on to goal scoring.
Well, look. Every time a team goes forward at the minute, they look like scoring, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Chance for McNish to lift it in for North Leigh. Foster will have to deal with it. Almost goes over his head and just wide of his right-hand post and away. It's going to be a goal kick, but as you say, there was just that moment where Mark G, when his side played their third substitute, they're trailing by 3-0. He jumped off the bench and he said, get forward, get tighter. And there was that moment, the 63rd minute, the first goal. Self received the ball facing his own goal on the edge of the 18, played it out to the right back Elkins, but the pressure was on. Suddenly it was a waspish sort of North Leigh. They smothered all over them, and that was when the first chance came. They got on top of the Didcot sort of back six. They said, we're not going to give you any time to play it out, and they didn't. In the previous 63 minutes, Didcot had virtually it all their own way, and they really could have been mistaken for thinking they'd won the game. Long ball over the top. Brooks is trying to get in behind Hole. Hole heads it away, only as far as Dutton Black, who brings it down 24 yards from goal. Stabs it out now, doesn't find Brooks. And Brooks pirouettes somewhat like Strictly Come Dancing whilst berating Dutton Black's ball through. Kicked away there by Bullman. Leroy just pointed out the way. Bird now with a chance. Got the keeper off his line. Carnell does well to get a toe off it on the edge of the 18, and Organ will have to deal with it. He'll curl it down the line. I think that's out of play as well. But all of a sudden they drove forward, and it's been a different North Leigh. It really has. Else will have the throw for North Leigh, the right back, some 15 to 20 yards, maybe midway inside the half now. The referees are judging that's where it is. And it's Else with the ball in his hands. Again, North Leigh in the ascendancy, driving forward, having come back from 3 goals down. They now find themselves with the football. Given away there by Dutton Black. Can't be picked up by Longford. Williams finds the man on the far side. Caton puts a high hanging cross there. There's 2 yellow shirts at the back post. Bowles heads it back in play, but again, only 1 red shirt, 2 yellow shirts overloaded at the back post.
But at times Didcot do look all at sea at the back. It is a worry, but having said that, North Leigh are just throwing everyone forward. So
there we are. We're just lifting it forward. We've got but moments left of regulation time. I don't know how many times we're into time added on. I reckon there'll be 3 or 4 minutes at the end of this second period. And then it'll be time for the referees to blow his whistle and the managers to weave their magic as Longford tries to win a ball on his near side. Does so. Gets it to Ben Whitehead. Whitehead plays it down the line. Tries to find Brooks. Brooks tries to put pressure on Hull. He manages to clear his lines, and this time he finds the man called Osborne-Ricketts, who squirts it out to the left-hand side. The left-back, Caton, who was started at centre-forward, plays the ball down the channel. Bird's on the charge. Will he get there? If he does, he'll do very, very well, and I'll enter him in the open race at Walthamstow tomorrow. He doesn't get there. Doesn't get there.
No.
Just dribbled away there. The team talks are going to be mightily impressive now, aren't they? Mark Leigh will have gone from screaming at his side to, you're doing everything right, keep it going. And Ian and Jamie will have gone from, you were coasting and berating their players, trying to tell them to play football again.
They did give the lads a rock at half-time. When I picked up my lovely cup of coffee, there was certainly some harsh words said in the Didcot dressing room at half-time. I don't know what that was about, but obviously they wanted more.
That was a great layoff there by Haitian to Brooks. Brooks finds Whitehead. Whitehead now bearing down on the 18-yard box. Fires it in. Hits the inner thigh there of Westlake. Goes away for a corner to Didcot. This is time added on. This could be a cruel blow. We've had a 6-goal thriller so far. Parity remains. Didcot 3 and North Leigh 3. But this corner will be whipped in by Josh Dutton Black down by the T stand here at the engineering droop. That's how I'm feeling. I've done a hard day's work. Luke Meadows Stadium, Didcot Engineering. Dutton Black lays it in there. Chance here. Longford goes up, gets a header on it, goes towards the keeper. Keeper takes it safely above the head of Ben Whitehead. Bullman drop kicks long. 2 against 2 at the back. Sanders battling with Organ. Organ with a strong header. And it'll be Carnell that has to get there. McNish will put him under pressure. And it's played up to the halfway line. The 2 centre-halves now playing well up the field. It's played down the channel. Brooks tries to put some pace and pressure on Hull. Hull will check away over on the far side and come in from that left-hand touchline and play it into his own penalty area to Westlake. Westlake now rolls it into the feet of Bowles. Bowles' first-time layoff backwards and slightly to his left, but the right for North Leigh. And it's Else that takes his time. And now puts it through the hole and finds Sanders. Sanders with a chance. He's got himself in. Rolls it in behind. Williams with a chance now into the box. Didcot at 6s and 7s. Williams to finish it. Great save by Foster at his near post. And I've got to say, Organ was nowhere to be seen. And Carnell's looking at the linesman. But the linesman was Johnny on the spot. And Williams, I felt, could have clinched it there for North Leigh.
He normally would do. I think that's a surprise, actually. He didn't finish it there. Pipe's not on his strongest side, but he used his left foot to try and drive it into the far corner, and it was a good save from Foster.
It was indeed. A corner will come in again. Therefore, it's taken short. Bowles on the apex of the Didcot box. Fires a shot high, wide, and over the new standards. Taken just over 7 years to build, but the referee says that's enough for 90 minutes. You are listening to Oxfordshire Sports Online, and you are listening to Red Insure Cup action. It has been a tale of some goals. Didcot controlled the first 63 minutes. A goal on 17 by Elkins. First of Mills, 2 came on 50 after a Haitian ball put him in, and he finished. And an Elkins cross made Mills sweep it in on 56 for 3-0. They had a disallowed goal, Mills did. Could have been a hat-trick, but it was all one-way traffic. The railway man then became derailed on 63. Bowles got a deflected goal in after pressure from North Leigh on the side of Didcot in the final third. Suddenly changed the whole emphasis of the game. Didcot became rattled and ragged. Williams, a former Didcot town player, curled a free kick in for 3-2. And on 77 minutes, Kieran Sanders, the most impressive of the North Leigh players, smashed one in from 20 yards into the top corner. It's 3 each. It's going to extra time. And it is time for us just to have a little bit of a rest.
Oxfordshire Sports Online.
Sure City Limited are a company based on the edge of Oxfordshire that provide health and safety instrumentation that monitors the workplace and employees to keep a safe working environment. Sure City provide instruments to monitor for things such as harmful gas, possible explosives or bad air quality. These are often more common than one might think and can occur in many work environments such as laboratories, farm slurry pits or paint factories. If you believe you may need to start monitoring in the workplace, please search for Sure City Limited online and contact them.
For document solutions that work for your business, choose the Red Corner. As experienced Canon accredited partners, we deliver tailored solutions for all types of organizations. We help you streamline the way you work, manage your costs, and increase productivity and security. Find out how at theredcorner.co.uk.
RJS Waste Management UK are a company providing a complete waste collection, disposal and recycling service for businesses throughout the UK. We specialise in hazardous waste and difficult non-hazardous waste that should not be landfilled for businesses ranging from small independents to larger companies, factories, construction companies and multinational organisations. And remember, we are specialists in asbestos surveying and removal. For all your waste management needs, call 01865 598 069 or email info@rjswastemanagement.co.uk.
Oxfordshire Sports Online.
Well, it is extra time down here. Oxfordshire Sports Online will be back on air for a next live broadcast, which will come courtesy of NIHL League One Ice Hockey, as the Oxford City Stars, who are bottom of NIHL League One, are taking on the MK Thunder. It's a local derby. It's from the Oxpens Ring. We'll be there live on air from 6 p.m, joined by James Shell, former Oxford City Stars player, and many other people discussing the weekend sport during the period breaks. But the Oxford City Stars will be there with their 2 imports. Zolt Mastelerio will be a D-man at the back, so will Michel Tomasek. We're hoping to see the likes of Darren Elliott and James Pentecost back in the lineup, but you never know. Things do change at a drop of a hat in ice hockey, live ice hockey, 6 p.m. on Sunday. Next Monday, live from 7 p.m, it is the Dart Blues as they start building up towards the Bowring Bowl at Twickenham in December in the varsity match against Cambridge University as they take on the London Wasps. We're covering the Oval Ball game, myself and indeed Hamish Law alongside me to talk all things rugby and the Dart Blues, as I say, as they start to prepare. 2 live broadcasts next Sunday, next Monday, but for now we are into extra time down here, and Steve Clare, who's been alongside me, the prophet of doom, one would say, for Didcot, as he said, look, at 3-0, you know, North Leigh could get back into it, and they did. Yeah. You've got a bit of a prophecy. Yeah,
I could have some more for you as well. During the break there, I was just thinking, Didcot and North Leigh have played lots of games over the years. There was a season probably about 10 years ago, maybe the 2003-2004 season, where Didcot played North Leigh 5 or 6 times. Didn't win any of them, but in one of the games, I think it was the Floodlit Cup, so they're both teams in the Atlantic, Didcot were 4-1 up at half-time, and all of us down here think, at last, we've beaten North Leigh this season. It was 4-4 at the end of normal time, and North Leigh won on penalties.
Wasn't it you that said Ian Concannon and Jamie Heapy have not won a cup match here for Didcot?
I did.
Yeah. Wonderful man to have alongside. Wonderful man if you're a Didcot fan to have alongside. Steve Clare, prophet of doom. Right, Didcot are playing from left to right and almost immediately make a mistake. They've just gone into their shell, long ball out. No changes, because there are no changes left. Just run through the sides for you. For Didcot, the Railwayman in goal, it is indeed James Foster, Elkins, Carnell, Leroyd and Organ are back for a midfield 4 now of Dutton Black, Longfoot, Clark and Whitehead. Up top is Haysham and Brooks. 2-goal John Mills taken off after being clattered a few times. And Jack Self has gone off in the middle of the park, as well as Baines, who started the game as well. For North Leigh, they started with a 3-5-2. They paid the total price of homage to the Railwaymen, because at half-time they went 4-4-2. In goal is Bullman, a back 4 of Caton, Hole, Westlake and indeed Else. In the middle of the park it is Elliot Osborne-Ricketts and Callum McNish, flanked either side by Bowles and Williams. Up top it is Kieran Sanders and Bird. The ball is currently in the middle of the Didcot half, and Bowles finds Osborne-Ricketts. Osborne-Ricketts and Els now share passes. Lifted forward by Osborne-Ricketts. Easy header edge of his 18 by Carnell, but he heads it straight back to Osborne-Ricketts. Takes a touch, rolls it back into his own half to Stuart Hall, who's under pressure from Haysham, and some 3 yards inside his own half. The centre half and captain of North Leigh goes back to Bullman, who puts a horrible clearance away, and in the end it's Dutton Black that gets himself in front of Caden. Now Haysham takes over, apex of the box of North Leigh, goes into the box one way, goes back, little overlap now, chance to put in by Longford, right across the face of goal, turned in at the back post by Ryan Brooks. It's 4-3 to Didcot, and I have to say, when that cross went in from Jack Longford, then I thought, well, that's gone harmlessly right across the face of goal, but Ryan Brooks hanging around like a bad smell, one would say, for North Leigh at the back of the box, and he tucks it away for 4-3. Steve.
Well, yeah, you can accuse Didcot of perhaps giving away the first goal tonight, but that was a horrible mistake. I think Stuart Hole put the keeper in under pressure. Bullman slice clearance, picked up by Dutton Black to Haysham. Couple of good step overs. He laid in Longford on the overlap. His cross did actually look like it gone too far, but actually Ryan Brooks was lurking at the far post, and it was a really good finish. I'm chuffed for Ryan because he has been injured. I really rate Ryan Brooks, and hopefully that'll get his confidence up.
Well, so North Leigh have to get themselves back in it all over again. Hole drives forward. They're attacking the goal away to the left, and Ryan Brooks gets himself on the score sheet. And now Didcot, they're the ones with a little bit of a boost. They're trying to play football. Near side, Dutton Black halfway line. Back to Longford, who's applied to cross. He goes for a crossfield diagonal ball. Whitehead to target. And on the far side, Else is being hounded there by Whitehead, and he turns it down the line. Good work as well. Let to run across his body by Sanders, but Bowles, and it's put out of play by the returning Pablo Haysham. North Leigh trail by 3-4 here at the Didcot Engineering Loop Meadow Stadium. And North Leigh will now try and drive themselves, come back again, never been in front in this game. Crossfield pass, headed away just outside his own 18-yard box by Elkins. Only finds Osborne Ricketts, who spreads it out to the left back, Caton. Caton driving forward now. Dutton Black trying to get back, midway inside to Didcot half. North Leigh roll the ball back to Kieran Sanders. Sanders, little layoff there to McNish. McNish under pressure from Longford. Turns around. Little stab forward to Bowles. Bowles 30 yards from goal. Goes out far side to Else, the right back for North Leigh. Chance for him to take on Longford. Puts a high hanging across. Foster will have to deal with it. That looks like a man down there. And I got to say, I looked at a very, very uncomfortable challenge there by Carnell on Williams. Not a lot. Lots of arms and that shouting off there. But one of the people that didn't look too interested actually was Williams as he hit the deck. What did you think, Steve?
I thought that was a penalty. Initially, I think Carnell lost his footing, but as he went down, he definitely put his arms around Morgan Williams and took him to the floor. If that was the Didcot end, I'd have been gutted about that decision.
Long ball in, free header, ball's bouncing around the 6-yard box, driven in. What a save, McNish from 8 yards. And I think Foster hasn't saved it, he's headed it wide. I think he's down now wondering where the stars are. They're not in the sky, they're around his head because that has been fizzed in. And he has literally headed it away. What a save by the keeper, Foster, Steve.
Yeah, he got it smack in the face. He'll be fine, I'm sure, but his good looks might be ruined.
I know the feeling. I got hit in the face by a mallet, I think I was.
A few times when I looked at it.
Oh, such a sweetie. Right, the physio's on. Foster's back up. Corner number 2 in extra time here for North Leigh, who are trailing. Kieran Sanders will look... How many times do you think I've been hit by that mallet? Anyway, Sanders hooks a high ball in. And again, it's headed away this time by Longford. And as far as Bowles tries to play it back from the corner taker Sanders. Longford gets there, drills the long ball out. Easy cut out there by Hole. Didcot slightly on their heels. Westlake loses out uncomfortably and goes to the floor now. There's a 3-on-3 here. Haysham with Brooks with him. Whitehead to his left. Plays it left-hand side now to Whitehead. Whitehead, edge of the box of North Leigh. Drills it low. Keeper smothers it at his near post. And Haysham just wanted a better run, it looks like, from Brooks. Couldn't tuck it through the hole. Bowled out quickly by the keeper, Bullman. Bullman finds Bowles. Bowles over the halfway line for North Leigh, driving forward. Cutting infield now. Got a wall of red shirts, but he's got an easy out ball, and Sanders is the man. Slightly skewed in front of him. Sanders picks it up, tries to take on Elkins. Shy of the dead ball line. Gets to the apex of the box. Got Dutton Black and Elkins there. Little layoff again, goes all the way back and across to Else, the right back. Else now with a chance to go forward. Got Haysham for company, midway inside to Didcot half. Good work by Haysham, forcing him to go back, and now Westlake will stab it forward to Sanders. Sanders, lip of the centre circle on the Didcot side for North Leigh. Turns, pirouettes and plays it to the left back, Caton. Caton in front of the main stand, driving forward. Little ball in behind Carnell. Foster's out to gather. Bird won't get there. Good run, and Didcot still lead by 4-3, and what has been a really, really exciting game down here in the Red Insure Cup. There won't be many games in the Red Insure Cup that match this for action either end. Football on the park and goals, Steve, tonight.
No, absolutely. It's been brilliant. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Both sides can be very proud of their contribution to this game.
Chance there. Brooks tries to get away from Hole. Hole does well. Turns it back from 35 yards to his keeper, Bullman. Bullman now, right peg, long, aiming on the far side for Williams. Great strong header there by Organ. But again, North Leigh pick up the loose ball, the second ball. Trying to drive forward. Else rolls it up to the feet of Williams. Williams rolls it into the feet of Bowles. Bowles, who temporarily has switched flanks, loses out to Elkins. Elkins now will look to try and set Didcot on their way. Longford just inside. Longford gets it, gives it back to Elkins. Elkins back to Carnell. Didcot again. Now, see all of a sudden the pressure on the football from North Leigh isn't there.
No.
And that was there. And that was a telltale sign that actually got North Leigh back into the game. And all of a sudden, Didcot seemed to be able to just play the football in the right areas. They're not being pressed. Although Bird comes across as Carnell just clips it down the line, trying to find Dutton Black. Dutton Black just with a little flick. It rolls down the touchline. And in the end, it's going to be Stuart Hole that turns it from this left touchline for North Leigh back into his keeper, Bullman. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online, courtesy of Oxbox.tv's radio player, but you could go to our website where you'll get the full rebroadcast both on both the Oxbox.tv's website and indeed the all the W's, OxfordshireSportsOnline.co.uk. You can indeed get in touch with us, listen to the rebroadcast and tweet us at Oxford_sports. Time is ticking on. We're midway through the first period of extra time down here at the Didcot Engineering Loop Meadows Stadium. as North Leigh try and build inside the Didcot half, and there's a chance here. El stabs it forward, tries to find Williams, cut out by Leroyd. Leroyd finds Clark. Clark, little ball out to the right hand side to Dutton Black, who steps away from Caton quite nicely and finds Haysham. Haysham on the halfway line for Didcot, just goes back inside to Clark. Clark shows, rolls it to Longford. Longford will give it back to Clark, and all of a sudden, as I say, the pressure from the yellow shirts of North Leigh not so great on the ball players of Didcot, and they can pick their passes. Brooks comes short. Carnell finds him, rolls it to Haysham. Haysham to Clark. Clark now to Elkins. All of a sudden, it is North Leigh's turn just to be following the ball around as Didcot knock it around. And Carnell, everybody involved, and Longford spreads it from the centre out to the left-back Organ. The yellow shirts trying to get back on charge. Flicked up to Brooks. Brooks cushions a header on. Hull just clears it. But like Ala Didcot at the back end of the second half, as he clears it, goes straight to a red shirt. And Longford finds Carnell. Carnell now switches it from the centre of his own half to his left back. And it's Leroyd is in the left back position. He puts it up to Brooks on the halfway line. He finds Longford. Longford to Organ. Organ back to Longford. Longford into the feet of Haysham. Haysham now just picks a football up, and they just start trying to play football. A bit of an expansive crossfield ball, but it's a safe one. It finds Elkins. Elkins on the halfway line in front of the main stand. Steps past Bowles. Bowles brings him down, and that will be a free kick. But all of a sudden, you see it. I said to you, North Leigh were trying to get on top of them and did get on top of them, got themselves back into the game. First period of extra time, few words from the calm heads on the bench. Dick got back to playing football.
I wonder whether they've taken a bit out of themselves getting back into the game because they look a little bit flattered out. I think there's another problem for North Leigh in particular at the back. I think Stuart Hull's got either a knock or he's got a hamstring problem. They've used all their substitutions. I wonder whether that isn't something they need to be a bit wary of. Maybe stick him up front, because if Brooks is on his game, I wonder whether the ball over the top might catch him out. But
well, they have got Caton who can play centre half.
Yeah.
And, you know, they may be able to tuck, as you say, Hull in a different position. But Didcot just popping the ball around. Nice layoff there by Haysham. Brooks will pick it up, turns it in. Dutton Bluck with a chance now. He's into the box. Can he seal this? Could this be five? Fires it across the keeper, but it's the inside of the right leg for Bullman that clears the danger. And all of a sudden, North Leigh being exposed again. Caton holds the ball tight in his corner, plays it into his own penalty area, and Hull lifts it out to the right back. Else, who's got to work hard just to keep the ball in play, and does so. But he's only level with his own 18-yard box, but tight on the touchline. Knocks a long ball up. Leroyd beats Bird in the air. Brooks will get onto the header through. Haysham will try and get away from Hull, but Hull does well to get it up to McNish. McNish finds Bowles. Bowles now finds the pass there of Elliot Osborne-Ricketts, and a great solid challenge going across there by Carnell. Slides in. Bird goes over. And the pair of them pick themselves up. But this game is far from over. 11th minute of the first period of extra time. Didcot 4, North Leigh 3. You're listening to the Red Insure Cup here from the Draycott Engineer and Luke Meadow Stadium. And you're listening via Oxfordshire Sports Online. You can listen to us on all the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk, and indeed oxbots.tv's radio player. And follow us at Oxford_sports. Steve, it's nervy, isn't it? Nobody really can feel safe in this game.
No, I mean, Didcot do look fairly settled on the ball at the minute, but one mistake, it is quite slippery out there, and we've seen a few mistakes tonight. Again, I think if North Leigh equalise, their heads will go back up again. It's all about confidence, this game, isn't it? We've said it a few times tonight, and North Leigh, if they get back on level terms, I think they'll raise their game again.
Great break coming in there, fired in, blocked there. It was indeed Williams. And Organ tries to clear his lines, but again, all of a sudden, North Leigh pushing high up the park. Little loose touch there by Williams, allows Longford to get the ball down, but he's lost it and allows Williams back on the football. North Leigh driving forward with a former Didcot town player. Now Sanders, faced by Haysham, turns it back now to Westlake on the halfway line. Down the right flank it goes. McNish gets the ball, rolls it back to Westlake. Westlake turns it infield. About 15 yards inside his own half to Hull. Hull back out on the far side to Westlake. Westlake to McNish. McNish now under a lot of pressure, turns it forward. Williams can't control it. And Longford finds Clark. Clark now runs to the halfway line for Didcot. On the right, Elkins is on the overlap. He gets the ball. It's a chance now. Elkins bearing down on the 18-yard box. Ball doesn't really run for him. Tries to run it through some legs. Good clearance there by Hull. And it's picked up by Osborne-Ricketts on the halfway line for North Leigh. He's got Bowles on his right-hand side. Little layoff to Bowles. Bowles now just two in front of him. Shoots from fully 40 yards. Elliot Osborne-Ricketts berates the touchline without turning around to Mr. Bowles and saying, what are you doing that for? Because it was a little bit ambitious.
It was ambitious. When Brian Bowles played for Didcot, I think he took about 40 games to score. When he did score, he scored from his own half.
Right.
It must have been 55 yards. I think he won the game. I think we won the game 1-0. The other irony tonight, obviously, is Brian Bowles scored for North Leigh tonight. He was only on the pitch as substitute for about 15 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yep.
But he took him 40 games or so.
So is this Didcot past versus Didcot present then?
I've said it. I mean, Andy Gunn was another one who's obviously not here tonight. There must be nearly a dozen players on show tonight that's either played for both clubs previously.
There we are. Leroy clears his lines, hooks it high in the sky. Whitehead helps it on. Westlake under pressure from Brooks will have to turn it back for North Leigh to the keeper Bullman. Bullman takes a touch, goes back out to Westlake. Just drawing Haysham up towards him, but again it's a ball up to the halfway line. Just hooked round the corner by McNish. Longford gets it, turns it back some 10 yards to Leroy. There's a lot of pace missing at the top of the park. You know, Bird isn't really the most mobile of players as he tries to put pressure on Leroy and Carnell, which has done them a little bit of a favour, somewhat would say, but he's got to get his fitness up. McNish now gives the ball to Longford. Longford, halfway line, driving forward, tries to curl it round. Westlake, he's got another chance. Haysham breaks onto the loose ball. He's into the box. Can he finish it here? What a superb challenge by Kieran Sanders, who's run back from the halfway line, and just as Haysham's pulling the trigger, Sanders blocks the tackle and sets North Leigh on their way. Near side, Williams in front of the main stand. Cuts inside of Dutton Black. Goes back to the halfway line to Sanders. Sanders, who always impresses me when he plays for North Leigh, and I've seen him 3 or 4 times this season. Scored some fantastic goals and got the 3rd tonight for North Leigh. He has been instrumental, and there he was very instrumental, stopping Didcot going into a 5-3 lead. Far side, Else brings the ball down. Linesman, after a little bit of coercion from the Didcot rearguard, says there was a little bit of arm there.
Yeah, fairly obvious even from here. It's about 70 yards away. I mean, I've mentioned Sanders tonight. He is a really good player. You wonder why he's not playing at a higher level. He's that good, I think.
Well, he had a spell at Oxford City, but, you know, even before it started, he decided he wanted to go back and play football. And I can understand that. You know, you get to a point where you just want to play football. And I don't think it's anything to do with lack of ambition. But if you go up to Conference North, and as he did under Mike Ford, you know, if you're not going to get straight into the first team or not get enough gameplay, you feel as though you're clicking your heels, because it's all about playing football for these boys, isn't it?
Absolutely, I'm sure.
Long ball over the top. Didcot will have to deal with it, and it's chested down by Elkins as Williams comes in. Picked up by Foster. A little bit of class. Just, again, it looks as though the end of the game may have come at the right time for Didcot Town, because we've had the first period of extra time, and the score now here in the Reading Shore Cup is Didcot 4, North Leigh 3. But as we've seen, this game is far from settled, because, quite frankly, when you get down to it, it has been a tale of sections of the game, to say the least. Didcot Town getting their 4th goal from Ryan Brooks, cross from Longford in the 93rd minute, and has that set the tone? We wait and see. One thing was noticeable in that first period of extra time was that North Leigh weren't quite pressing the Didcot players as much as they did at the end of the first 90 minutes.
Yeah, you picked up on it. They look quite tired, don't they? But that might be partly because they're behind at the moment, and they must have put a lot of stamina into the period where they got back into the game. That took an awful lot of work, I think. They pressurised Didcot, almost like the press of basketball when you know everyone's out and marking. It almost went man for man, didn't they, for a while? They were flying forward. I think that's taken it out of them a bit. I think if Didcot can keep it steady for the next few minutes, then hopefully that'll take the sting out of North Leigh for the final period of extra time.
Well, it looks as though the 3 substitutes, Mr. Mills, Jack Self and Baines, all coming off. They're heading off for the warm water in the showers, and I think they've just told a few players that it'll be cold by the time you get in the changing rooms.
And warmly applauded there, and I think that's right. I thought Josh Baines, Jack Self and John Mills all played well tonight, and I don't think any of them was substituted because of a bad performance. I think partly tactical, but also looking after them for the massive game against Marlow on Saturday.
Indeed, it is here on Saturday as well. If you want to come down and watch some fantastic football, the Railway Men at home at the Drayton Park Manor and Zoo. It's going to be something. I keep getting it wrong. It's the Didcot Engineering Loop Meadow Stadium now. And what I do is make a mistake just so that I can make sure that everybody does hear the sponsor's name. That's what I do. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online. And it's brought to you tonight for courtesy of Richard Kimmy and Gavin Hyatt, the boys at Oxbox.tv. Their radio player will play us as Brooks got a chance to sprint in behind Hull. Hull is struggling. Chance now for Brooks. We're into the start of the second period. Little lift in. Can Dunblood get there? Can't. Comes out on his near side to Haysham. Haysham with a chance to step the ball up to the box. Comes out to Longford on the edge. Faced by Bowles from North Leigh. Drives it in. Ricochet. Brooks has got a chance. He stabs it past the keeper, but stabs it well past the goal as well. It looked easier to score for me, but then again, I was always lethal from about 7 inches. Now North Leigh drive forward. As I said, you can hear us as well if you go to all the W's, OxfordshireSportsOnline.co.uk. You'll also hear the rebroadcast on both of those ways. McNish driving forward, edge of the box, low. It's 4 apiece. McNish has put it in. He's got time and space from one end to the other. McNish brings North Leigh back into it. It's 4 apiece, and it's a fine strike on his left peg. Low past Foster into the bottom corner. And we are back to equal parity.
Great finish. Left-footed from about 20 yards. Quick break. I mean, you called it. I'm not quite sure Ryan Brooks has missed at the other end. It was a shot by Jack Longford originally that fell to him with only goal to beat. He stabbed it wide. Quick break. It must have been in the goal, in the net at the other end within about 15 seconds.
Absolutely. Callum McNish just strode forward. And it all starts again. Is it going to be game 46 without a cup victory for Ian Concannon and Jamie Heapy that lead Didcot down? It certainly must feel like the hardest way to win a cup game they've ever come across in their life. Both players played in that fantastic day at White Hart Lane all those years ago, so they know what it's like to win a cup match as players. But as managers, they're finding it just a wee bit difficult. The ball is on the far side, and it's a free kick. North Leigh have got themselves back from 3 down to 3 each, 4-3 down, back to 4 each. Callum McNish scoring in the 107th minute. Who would gamble who's going to win this game now? I don't think anybody would want to put their money anywhere. Even old Ray Winstone, if he came on at half-time, wouldn't know where this one was going, Steve.
No, I couldn't. I'm not going to call it because I've not been calling it all night, but I really have no idea who's going to win this game.
It is a free kick on the far side, right against the touchline. Keeper Ballman comes out of his goal for North Leigh. He knocks it high in the sky. Carnell battles, wins the header. He finds Clark. I have to say, the centre of midfield for Didcot, when that goal went in, was very open to allow McNish to run at the back line and just sidestep his centre-half. Brooks has done one on the far side, gets away from Hull. Gets outside his man. Can he lift it in? Can lift it in. Whitehead, edge of the box. Can he bring it down? Elson in front of him. Drives it low. Pulls it horribly across the face of goal. And Didcot faithful behind us are really, really not too happy because there's been chances, as we've seen. And just a moment ago, a wonderful chance for Ryan Brooks to get his second in the game. Just dribbled wide of the goal. And as you say, within 15 and 20 seconds, McNish has put it in the net at the other end for North Leigh. What a great game. Two sides have put themselves to it. For 63 minutes, it was all the Railway men. For the final, 27 minutes of the second half, it was all North Leigh. They looked as though they'd been bossing it all through the evening, but they hadn't. They got it back to 3 each. Then the first period of extra time, you fancied that it was going to be Didcot's night again. They bossed the first 15. And now they've had a glorious chance and find themselves level again. That's a handball there by Ben Whitehead. And North Leigh will fancy their chances to drive forward yet again. What a topsy-turvy game of football we have. We're into the 4th minute of the second period of extra time. You listen to Oxfordshire Sports Online. As I say, you will be able to hear a live rebroadcast of this game on Oxbox.tv's radio player. And if you go to their website, you can also go to our website, all the W's, OxfordshireSportsOnline.co.uk. Have a listen because it really has kept us interested for the full term so far, and it will continue to do so. North Leigh getting themselves back into it. Red Insure Cup, and it's 4 apiece between Didcot and North Leigh. Didcot keep getting their noses in front, and North Leigh keep pegging them back. It really is nip and tuck all the way. And to a degree, we can't, as you say, we won't call it because it is that close. But you reckon it could go all the way to penalties here? Yeah,
I think there's every chance now. If there's a mistake, which you can't foresee, then obviously, and if that happens right at the end of the game, there might not be time to come back from it. But actually, you can actually see this almost petering out to I say petering out, it sounds like it hasn't been exciting enough, but I think both teams look quite tired now, don't they? It's difficult for them to.
Well, it's also good. It could be to the detriment of their big games on Saturday. Yeah. You know, there's some. It doesn't Raheem Sterling's very tired, apparently, at the moment. But, when you put the shifts in that these boys are doing, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturdays, it really is quite tough. What have we got from... We've got a shout. I don't think you're too happy with that shout that's come across here. Whitehead drives forward, rolls it into the feet there of Haysham. Little layoff. Clark, 24 yards out, fires a shot in. Blocked there by Westlake. Goes away, corner to Didcot. And it's their first in extra time. And it's going to be Ben Whitehead that's going to use his left peg to curl it in from the right. Up goes Carnell. Up goes Leroy. Longford's quite a tall man as well. But it's a 3-on-2 if that ball comes out. Osborne, Ricketts and Williams up against Clark. And Elkins is gone. Now, he's got to make this tell here, because if he doesn't get this ball in very well, it's going to be a break, which they could struggle with. Black hooks it on, header by Carnell over the bar. But we were more worried that if Elkins hadn't made that cross, it was 2 against 1 for North Leigh. Had you worried there, didn't it?
Well, it did, but you put your house on Luke Carnell scoring from there. I mean, he's probably the best header of the ball on the pitch. That was a really good setup. He was probably only about 9 or 10 yards out, but for a centre-back of his quality, he really should have hit the target.
We will be off air as soon as the final whistle has been sounded, or the penalties have been finished, but free kick there. Carnell judged to have been fouled there by Bird, who hasn't done a great deal since he's come on. Made a bit of a nuisance of himself there. Free kick to Didcot. Time dribbling away. We're into the 7th minute of the second period of a stoppage time, which means 112 as we approach the 120th minute. Elkins clips it out that far touchline. Dutton Black would do well to keep it in. Doesn't keep it in. Flag goes up. Throw to North Leigh. Midway inside their own half, and it will be the left back on the far side, Caton, that started as centre forward, who will be looking to throw this ball forward. He's got Westlake with him. Hull trying to keep away from the football as much as possible now, due to that little bit of a hamstring pull, certainly not running very well, and Didcot have not exploited that. Long ball up, Bird goes up. Carnell wins the header. Who's going to get on the second ball? Halfway line, it's Whitehead. Just toes it back to Organ. Organ now in front of this main stand, into the feet of Longford. Longford opens his body out, finds Clark. Clark will be put under pressure, and he's robbed by Bird, and Sanders will profit from this. Plays it now to Williams. Williams driving forward. Crossfield pass to Bowles. Bowles first time layoff to the goal scorer Minnis. Back to Bowles. Bowles drives it wide. There of Foster's goal, and it's a horrible drag across the face of goal, but all of a sudden now you just saw the dwelling on the football of Clark. Stepped in by possibly one of the slowest forwards on the pitch today, Bird, but he just stealthily came past him and took it off his toes.
I don't think Clarkey got a call there, so maybe not his fault, but yes, that was a quick break again, and Brian Bowles has got a good shot on him from that distance, and he didn't quite connect with it, so that was a bit of a let-off for Didcot there.
It is indeed. It's a goal kick Foster will take as the time just edges away. And one thing that's happened is a decent crowd in here, but they're now just watching the football. There's no sort of sway of opinion. People are now just watching almost a chess match going on. It's going, as you say, a bit like a basketball match, end to end, but nobody really wants to make that mistake as Dutton Black outpaces Caton on the far side. Caton does well. Dutton Black does even better to get back. In the end, Caton robs him. Deep in his own territory, the North Leigh left back lifts it up to the halfway line. Leroy and Elliot Osborne-Ricketts hold it up. Good work by Elliot Osborne-Ricketts. Unfortunate slip by Clark. Osborne-Ricketts drives forward, plays it out to his right to Bowles. Bowles with Organ for company. Waits for Else to go on the overlap. Doesn't use him. Still holds the football inside his feet. Places it to McNish on the edge of the box. McNish versus Leroy. Stabs it out. Osborne-Ricketts on his left peg. Fires it into Williams. Williams coming in. Fires it in. Blocked off the legs of Elkins. Goes away for a corner. And again, North Leigh played the ball around the Didcot 18-yard box nicely.
You get the ball to Elliot Osborne-Ricketts' left foot or Morgan Williams' left foot in those sort of areas, and they will score goals.
Thank goodness they didn't then. So the curse has been broken of Steve Clare, the man that says, well, I never score here, and they do. He always scores goals here, and he does. It always seems to be your fault tonight, in fairness, Steve.
I can see you're blaming me for everything.
Well, absolutely. You know, so I'd make a very good manager. I blame everybody but me. We're into the 10th minute, 5 minutes left, 115 on the clock. Corner about to come in for North Leigh. Down at the far end of the ground, away to my right, it's high and it's hung up. Easy header, clears everybody. Organ will have to get there before Bowles, but Bowles gets to the ball on the apex of the North Leigh penalty, the Didcot penalty area. Turns away, pirouettes, faces Organ. Will he take him on? Bowles, the former Didcot player, plays it against Haysham, who comes away with the football. Pablo Haysham holds it quite nicely. runs in field. It goes from right to left, looking for Brooks. That's not a bad ball. If Brooks can get onto the end of it, it's him versus Sanders. Sanders, a man of all positions, has forced him away from goal. Brooks will now clip it inside to Clark. Clark under pressure now from McNish. Just outside the box of North Leigh. Holds it up, plays it back some 10 yards and out to the touchline to Elkins. Elkins into the feet of Longford. Longford back to Elkins. Elkins has got Clark just inside. Rolls it in now to the feet of Dutton Black, who peels away. Back at it comes to Clark. Clark to Dutton Black. Dutton Black tries to take it away from Caton. Spins away from Caton. He's on the apex of the box. He's into the box. Comes across the edge of the box. On his left peg. Will he get a shot? Clips it. And just plucked out of the air there by Bullman. Just knew he was going to go for the reverse shot on his left peg. And he sort of dinked it more than slapped it. And it was plucked out of the air by the keeper, Bullman. Halfway line now. North Leigh try and feed it forward. Poor header by Bowles. Only finds Organ. Organ finds the man on the centre spot is Longford. Longford clips it out on this left-hand side. Whitehead now runs deep into the territory where the right back Else will have to get there. Else will try and see it out. Longford's ball is out of play and a throw to North Leigh, tight down by that corner flag. And it's just going to go the distance. This is like a heavyweight slugfest, really. One goal either way all the time throughout this game. You thought that North Leigh were on the ropes, but they managed to claw themselves back after a standing count, and they got themselves back into it. Then it looked as though they'd taken another knockout blow. Longford giving the ball away again, much to the derisions of the fans around us. Up it goes. Good turn around the corner by Elliot Osborne-Ricketts. Organs tries to clear it, but plays it square across the midway point of his own half, and the right back Elkins plays it down the line to Haysham, but that beats him and bounces out of play. The two benches trying to drive them on. 12th minute of the second period of stoppage time, and as I say, it looked as though the knockout blow had come when Brooks had put 4-3 on the board for Didcot, but again a weary North Leigh dragged themselves up and summoned a bit more energy, and having just seen the Brooks put the ball wide of the goal, they got themselves back to 4 apiece. It is just trading blow for blow now. These two sides from Division 1 South and West of the Southern League, they will meet twice more in this division, but this is the Red Insure Cup, and it's Williams faced by Longford. Longford gets a good toe in. Ball squirts away to Else. Else stabs it into the box. Carnell won't get there. Around the back is Bird. He's got a chance to stop it down by the dead ball line. Chance now to feed it out to the edge of the box. Now there's a chance for Osborne-Ricketts. His touch is heavy, and Elkins comes away with a football, and he'll be really, really pleased that he could do that. Little layoff now to Whitehead, but it's given away, and again North Leigh will try and drive forward. The crowd getting a little bit rattled into the 13th minute of time. In the second period of extra time, Elkins is right back, but he's playing left midfield now. Opens his body out and finds Dutton Black, who is the right midfielder. He now gallops over the halfway line into North Leigh territory. What a game we've had here. Good bit of work now. Finds Haysham. Haysham tries to step away from Westlake. Westlake does well. Bird tries to drill it away, but he hits the legs of Longford for Didcot, who now squares it some 10 yards to Clark. Clark drives forward into the feet of Brooks. Back out to Longford. Longford looking to try and do something. There's a player down on the far side. Looks like it's Dutton Black. But it's going to be Didcot that try and go forward again. Elkins gets the ball, lifts it into the box. It's a really, really deep one. Brooks goes in. Good take by Bullman. And North Leigh will set their stall out, and it's a little underarm bowl out to Bowles. Bowles finds McNish. McNish is in front of the midfield. He's driving towards the heart of the Didcot defence. He tries to clip a ball in from distance, but it's wide of Foster's right-hand post and goes away for a goal kick. There are tired minds and tired bodies, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, Dutton Black's still down. Thankfully, it's only cramped by the looks of it, but he's been on the floor for about the last 2 minutes, which shows how much he's put in tonight. I think both sides look absolutely spent now, don't they?
Well, absolutely. I think your commentary team is as well now, you know. 120 minutes of this. Good grief. It wouldn't have been so bad if it was 0-0. We wouldn't have had too much to say. Absolutely. But I've not even used my best joke either. Long ball over the top. It was coming. Don't worry. I'll get it out somewhere. It's a good gag.
It better be.
Well, it might not be fit for radio, but it's very funny. Anyway, near side, Bowles plays it out to Else. Else inside his own half, goes over the halfway line, got space to run into. He's still got a bit of running in him. Maybe he can get up there. Will he get back? But he still holds the football for North Leigh. Plays it back, infield, drives Bowles. Bowles now, outside the boot, tries to find McNish. Easy cut out there by Organ. Organ finds Longford. Longford has not got a lot in front of him apart from Brooks. He just holds the ball up, plays it to Haysham. Haysham now will look to try and find Elkins. He must have lungs and the sheer stamina capacity, but he has had 3 games off, and it's played there by Haysham into the feet of Brooks. Brooks tries to go outside his man after a pass from Clark. Far side, Elkins back to Haysham. Haysham dinked ball up towards Longford. Easy header away by Else. 10 seconds of regulation time to go. Right on the lip of the centre circle on the North East side. It's North Leigh's Elliot Osborne-Ricketts. Digs it out over the head of where the right back would be. And Carnell has to battle with Bird. Gets a fortunate break there. And he plays it now to Haysham. Haysham's come to help. The referee says that's enough. It is the good old-fashioned penalties. And yet again, game 45 or 46. Cannon and Heapy have not won a cup game in regulation or extra time, Steve.
No, it's. I think after 63 minutes, I think we both agreed that they probably would do. But what a fascinating game that was.
It was a fascinating game. Let's just talk you through it. North Leigh came out in this Red Insure Cup down here at the Didcot Engineer and Loop Meadow Stadium on the front foot, but it was Didcot that got the first goal. A header from a corner from Carnell from 4 yards, palmed away. A superb save by Bullman, but North Leigh didn't clear it, got to the edge of the box, and Elkins back from a 3-game suspension drilled in the first goal for 1-0. The rest of the half petered out. Didcot on top. They didn't make the most of what chances they had. Second half started fairly lively. 50th minute, Haysham found Mills. Mills put the ball in the back of the net. It was 2-0. In between that, there was an offside goal. Good cross in by Whitehead, tucked in by Mills. It was a tight decision. Should have been 3, we thought, but it was ruled offside. Still 2, but shortly after that on 56, a great cross in, found Mills in acres of space on the penalty spot, and he swept it in right-footed for his second of the match, and 3-0 to Didcot. North Leigh then were awoken. Their manager jumped off the bench and said, press, press, press. And that's what happened on 63. They pressed the Didcot rear guard. The midfielders got the ball out to the right-hand side. They lost possession. Back into the penalty area it went. And Bowles, the former Didcot man, got a deflected shot low into the bottom corner. You felt the tide had turned, and indeed it had. A free kick harshly given against Adam Leroy. 19 yards out, was then dispatched by former Didcot player Williams into the top corner. Somebody had said alongside me that Williams could win this game on his own. What a good free kick that was. Just some 12 minutes later, it was all level as Kieran Sanders, the most impressive man for North Leigh, not just in this game, all the other games I've commentated on, got the ball 19 yards out and dispatched it into the top corner. The sides then petered out to the end of 90 minutes with 6 goals under their belt, and they went into extra time. First goal came on 93. Ryan Brooks scoring at the back post from a Longford cross to make it 4-3. North Leigh looked leggy. Not leggy enough, though, because Brooks had another chance after a shot ricocheted into his path. He towed it past the keeper, Bullman, but wide of the post. And some 20 seconds later, Callum McNish for Oxford City drove it in from 18 yards into the bottom corner for 4 apiece. That's how it ended at the end of extra time. And we're on to penalties. And it's anybody's game now, Steve.
Absolutely. Lottery of penalties. Again, there's no point in me trying to call it because I've got it wrong every time tonight. But
don't call it.
I'm not going to. It's one of those, isn't it?
Whoever scores the most is going to win.
Well, I think that's probably right. I do have some breaking news for you, though.
What's that?
But I'm not sure whether I should tell you.
Go on, tell me.
Well, news has it that the game should have gone straight to penalties.
Are you sure?
Well, that's what I've been told.
You have been told.
I was going to break that to you slowly because your journey home is probably longer than mine.
Yeah, longer? Oh, that's... Really? Who could have made such a horrendous mistake?
Well, I do know that the referee was asked at half-time whether it goes to extra time penalties, and that's his take on it, was it should do. But apparently the league have been in touch while extra time was on to say it should have gone straight to penalties.
Was that bit of paper that you threw away?
I didn't know how to break it to you, Selfy. That's the problem.
Well, you've broken it in such a nice way that I'm laughing all the way through here.
At least you've had
I've never been so happy.
You've had an extra half hour of scintillating football.
So, thank you very much. We've just heard that apparently it should have gone straight to penalties and not extra time. That's what we've just been told. So you've had half an hour of fun for nothing, really. It's free tonight. You can have that on us. Penalties are about to start. It's going to be Stuart Hull first at the goal away to my left-hand side to take the first penalty for North Leigh. A man that has been injured. It's now about the keepers, really. Bullman of Foster. Foster stands in the centre of his goal. Hull will stride up to the ball with his right peg. Here comes the first penalty. Fires it low into the bottom corner. Foster goes the wrong way. Ball goes the other way. 1-0 to North Leigh. And Hull is the scorer. Now all we need is 22 penalties, isn't it?
He didn't look... I mean, I thought he certainly was carrying injury early.
He is definitely limping, you're right.
But he didn't look injured there, did he? The absolutely perfect penalty to the bottom right-hand corner of the goalkeeper.
Elkins, scorer of the first goal for Didcot. Can he get some parity? Steps up to the ball. Right peg, puts it over the bar. It's 1-0, and it is... fortune favouring North Leigh because Elkins has put that right over the centre of the goal and over the top of the bar. Not even working, Bullman.
Well, I've seen Sam take penalties before. He does tend to just put his power behind it. But you've got to hit the target.
You can, and it's a former Didcot player, Morgan Williams, scorer of the second goal, that takes it. Foster brings the ball out to him in his white kit. The goal away at Teletubby Hill End. North Leigh have the favour now. They lead by 1-0. Here comes Williams, fires it low. It's past the keeper. It's 2-0 North Leigh. And all of a sudden, Foster guessed right this time, but it was past him and through him far too quickly. It's going to be Carnell, Captain Carnell, who comes up. Maybe he should header this, that's what I would say. But he's going to take the penalty. It is 2-0 North Leigh. North Leigh are in the ascendancy because, quite frankly, the first penalty for Didcot and Elkins missed. Carnell runs up, right peg, fires it with real pace. Bullman got a hand to it, but in fairness, if he got any more, it would have gone in the back of the net at the same time as the ball. 2-1 to North Leigh, and striding forward is Elliot, Osborne, Rick. It's all Didcot players, in fairness, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, Elliot used to take penalties for Didcot, so I suspect he can take a decent penalty. I know that for a fact. He won't go for power, I'd imagine he'll go for placement.
I've just been asked by somebody, have I missed anything? Yeah, it's 4 apiece, Joe O'Neill. The Heat from Glasgow, and we're into penalties, and it's 2-1 to North Leigh. Their third penalty coming up, fires it low. It's 3-1, and still they are in the ascendancy, with the first penalty for Didcot being missed by Elkins. Stepping forward now, Jack Longford, just to keep Didcot in the game. They trail by 1 penalty to 3, and this is their third penalty coming up, and they need to pop it in the back of the net. 3 scored for North Leigh. Longford, substitute on, late on, puts it into the back of the net. Well, he's really wrapped that into the back of the net there. In fairness to the keeper, Bullman died away to his left, ball straight down the centre. 3-2. Still that 1 penalty missed by Elkins, the difference between the two sides. And now it is indeed the keeper, Bullman, who's going to take the penalty against Foster. Keeper versus keeper. The crowd quiet, some of them thinking this has been a long night, and if that news is right, that we should have gone straight to penalties, it's been longer than we should have had, but we've had free football tonight. Bullman, the keeper for North Leigh, to make it 4-2, strides up to the ball, fires it low, Foster goes the wrong way, it's 4-2, and it's now Ryan Brooks that will walk from the halfway line up, little smile over his shoulder. You fancy Ryan Brooks, a man that scored some 50-odd goals last year for Ardley, to put the ball in the back of the net, and he'll need to do so, because if they miss this, I think that is curtains for Didcot. So this is a real pressure penalty for Ryan Brooks. Penalty spot looks a little bit churned up now. The referee is there. Ryan Brooks walks backwards, faces the goal. Only a short run up. Puts it low. It's saved by the keeper. North Leigh are through. Didcot are out in his first round of the Red Insure Cup. And it has been a humdinger. 4 apiece after 120 minutes. 3-0 up Didcot. Goals from Elkins and 2 from Mills. And then the North Leigh fight back from Bowles. Then it was a great strike by Williams from a free kick and a superb strike from Sanders. Into extra time, a goal came from Brooks to make it 4-3, but they conceded with McNish at the start of the second period. And it went to penalties. And when it came down to it, it is Didcot that go out of the Red Insure Club, because it's North Leigh that go through 4-2 on penalties. And Steve, your summing up of what has been an excellent night of football.
Oh, you've summed it up. It was just a brilliant game of football. Both sides can be proud of the entertainment they've supplied. At the end of the day, there has to be a winner. I'm not sure North Leigh deserved to win. I don't think anyone necessarily deserved to win, but what a great advert for Southern League football.
It was indeed. Just to let you know, big thank you to Steve Clare alongside me. This has been Red Insure Cup Football, brought to you by Oxfordshire Sports Online. We are back on Sunday. Face-off at 6:15. We're live on air at 6 o'clock for Oxford City Stars versus MK Thunder. On Monday, we're on air at 7 for a 7:15 start, as it will be the Dark Blues taking on the Wasps. 2 more broadcasts coming up to you. For tonight, a big thank you to Steve Clare. A big thank you to the two sides that have given us great entertainment over the whole 120 minutes and indeed penalties. But for me, Andrew Self and Steve Clare and Oxfordshire Sports Online, the rebroadcast will be up on all the W's, oxfordshiresportsonline.co.uk tomorrow, and indeed on oxbox.tv's website as well. But it's a big night. It's a big thank you. It's thank you very much to everybody involved, and a great game of football. But for now, good night.
Oxfordshire Sports Online, sponsored by Avalon National Pool Covers, the only truly independent pool cover company. Installing, maintaining, servicing and cleaning all types of pool covers.
Hi everybody listening and anyone who has stumbled across the internet and is tuning in to today's live broadcast. Who are Oxfordshire Sports Online and what is it? And more importantly, what will it be doing? Oxfordshire Sports Online is an internet-based broadcasting platform with a difference. Our aim is to deliver live sporting events broadcast from around the county and around the country, uncovering the sports left in the shade by the mainstream sports stations. Just because the manpower isn't available